species, I've given the fugitive apes all the ammunition they need!
Smash Brothers! Kongversation. Hyle Russell.
Mitchell Wolfe. I didn't understand what was going to happen right there, but I figured it out.
You did. So that was our introduction. Hello, Mitchell.
Yeah.
We're here. We've made it. This is it. Mitchell, we're going to be talking about Super Smash Bros. Ultimate on this episode, just in case there's any confusion. Actually, I'm just joking. We're going to be talking about the new Sea of Thieves Bazooka Joe comic strips that only I can see on select pieces of Bazooka Joe.
You know, that reminds me of one time to take that further, that tangent into its own tangent. That reminds me of one time my sister and I, after elementary school, we were both in elementary school, we had some sort of like Japanese club where it was like we would learn the language, attempt to learn the language, except her and I only went like twice ever. We learned nothing. And years from then, anytime she would see like a blank piece of printer paper with nothing on it, she'd point to that and say, "That says hello in Japanese." And like to all of her friends, and they would say, "It doesn't say anything on the paper." And she says, "Well, I can read it because I learned Japanese. I know you can't see it because you don't know Japanese." And she did that for like a number of years. And I assume that there's some sort of similar system going on with your Sea of Thieves Bazooka Joe comics.
I thought a Japanese club would be like a kendo stick.
You know, we didn't go long enough to find out if they okay. Tackled other aspects of the culture.
Captain Cheesebag in a live stream chat says Mitchell's sister for Smash DLC, so this is off to a good start.
Yeah.
Smash Brothers, we're going to be talking about, we have a lot to say about it, but first got to get some due diligence just because I got to, Mitchell, I got to. DK Vine, we had some problems when Smash came out, so literally the day before Smash Brothers came out, Super Smash Brothers Ultimate, of course. When I say Smash Brothers this episode, unless I'm being specific, I'm not referring to the Nintendo 64 original. Just to be clear, this story did not happen back in the spring of 1999. No, Smash Brothers was coming out one day later, and I went to bed. I went to sleep, you know, because I had to rest my head. It was heavy with burden over running a Donkey Kong website empire, and woke up. The DK Vine forum was down, and I was like, okay, well, you know, this happens. It's probably just our host doing some maintenance. It'll be back up. But it's a little bit unusual that only the forum is down and not the rest of the site. Well, long story short, they updated the PHP or something, and it made our forum unreadable for the better part of 6 days. We eventually convinced them, mostly thanks to the suave English charm of our own Matt Corna, our resident James Bond-like man. He was able to charm them into rolling back whatever the hell they did to us. Took 6 days. We did it. Yay! The forum was back online.
Oh.
But that was a frustrating time, and it really dampened Smash coming out for me, because all of a sudden the platform I had to, you know, give people to talk about Smash Brothers was taken from us. So that was not good times, but good news, Mitchell. Thanks to Matt and his James Bondian ways, mostly murder and sex, the forum is back online. So you can talk about Smash Brothers from a Donkey Kong perspective all you want. And that's at dkvine.com. You can check that out, as well as the rest of the site. Hey, we've got more than just the forum.
You know,
also,
I assumed that the problem was fixed via Matt going in and doing some, like, I don't know, recoding or restructuring on his own. The fact that he convinced other people to do something, for some reason, is much more impressive to me. The idea that he got on the phone and just convinced someone else to care about DK Vine is amazing, and I love it.
The thing is, Host Monster does not tell us when they're going to be doing these upgrades. We get no notifications about them. And we are running a 19-year-old, almost 20-year-old website with technology that's just kind of papered over from the late 90s. we haven't done much in the way of technical upgrades. So you've got a site that cannot really handle any new fancy coding that they just throw at us without letting us know ahead of time, which is really frustrating. So
yeah,
thankfully we've got suave, sophisticated Brits on staff who can charm the dumb, simple folk who work. I'm not saying that the nice people at Host Monster are dumb. I'm just saying they're easily manipulated by the English accent. So thank you, Matt. And anyway, so dkvine.com, but we're also on Patreon. So if you want to throw money at us after that embarrassing snafu, where for 6 days our own readers couldn't discuss Smash Brothers on our website, feel free to do so, dkvine.com/Patreon. And also, we're on YouTube, and we're on Facebook, and we're on Twitter. And I would plug our Tumblr, but there can be no more plugging on Tumblr from what I hear. So all of those very nipply pictures of Clump circa Donkey Kong Country 1 that Cameron once put up there have been censored and removed. So I'm not going to plug our Tumblr right now.
One of the most important letters in DK Vine is a V, so I think that's a female-presenting website. You just can't have it on Tumblr anymore. That... You talk about websites going downhill based on antiquated values, you know.
I don't know, man. I don't know though. I feel like we've kind of come full circle on titillation. So I feel like what was permissible in the late 90s is no longer permissible via crocodile men and their pokey nipples. So I don't know. Maybe Tumblr is just ahead of the game as far as values go. I haven't really researched that, but nonetheless, DK Vine, we're across the internet. We've splattered ourselves recklessly among many platforms, and many platforms that will apparently steal your social media info, your private messages, and give them to larger corporations. So hey, everything's coming up us right now. DK Vine on Facebook. Check us out. And also, don't forget, you can call the DK Vine hotline at 1-202-630-VINE. That's 8463. But because 8463 doesn't really mean anything, we like to say Vine because those are the letters that correspond to 8463 on a touch-tone phone, which I realize the kids today don't really know what a touch-tone phone is, but you know, it's a thing that used to exist. So, call this number and then a word, and that used to be something, for like 1-900 numbers for like the sex lines. Say, call 1-900 pokey crocodile nips. And that doesn't actually work, though, with the actual amount of letters and numbers and a usual phone number. But just bear with me, Mitchell, pretend.
I learned on a touch-tone phone that the tones that the buttons made was actually important because the phone was listening for them, and that's how it knew what was being pressed. I learned that way later in life than I would care to admit. Like, very relatively recently. It never occurred to me that is how that works.
And now your Amazon Echo is listening to you and basically stealing all the information in your own life, especially when you use it to pull up the Kongversation on TuneIn. So,
yeah,
I'm glad we can be a part of the experience of all of your personal information getting pilfered. And I'm happy to take that journey with you, the audience. So, DK Vine, we're all going downhill together. All right, Mitchell.
Yeah, all right.
Super Smash Brothers Ultimate. Now, as far as I know, there's no listening devices. There's no tracking chips implanted in the little game cartridges for this one. So I feel like this is safe. As far as products in 2018 go, Super Smash Brothers Ultimate will not ruin your life. And it has not ruined my life. But, Mitchell, I thought it was going to.
Yeah.
You and I have been on a long journey with this game. A journey.
We have, yeah.
Once around the sun, we've been on this journey. And let's rewind a little bit. Crank that
Soldier Boy.
Crank it back, yeah. You came to DK Vine, you came to our community, and you were introduced to us via the build up to Ukulele. So when Chris Sutherland was a guest on our show back in season 3, that's how you discovered DK Vine. This was after Super Smash Bros. 4 was already released and came out for the 3DS and the Wii U. So we had no parts together as a unit, as co-champions of this podcast. We had no journey together for Smash 4. Smash 4 already existed as far as the duration of our relationship here.
Yes and no. The game was out. The DLC was not. And
okay.
I came from Smash 4, and I there were definitely things that I didn't like about it, and especially now that we have Ultimate to show us, no, it doesn't need to be the way it was. It's clearly a worse game, but at the time I was like, yeah, sure, yeah, I like Smash 4 enough. It's not my favorite, but like, yeah, sure. And during the DLC cycle, I feel like I was coming around to all the people on the forum saying, hey, dude, what if it's Banjo this time? Like, why not? Can't it be? Let's get excited. And everyone's like, were you not here? Were you not here for the last year? How could you say that to me? And I felt immediately shunned, and I knew my place.
I'm glad we could shun you early on, because I think my grandparents on my mother's side come from a Mennonite community, so I have shunning in my veins. So I'm happy to carry that legacy forward. I've been a disappointment for my family in most regards. It's like, what does your son do? Well, have you heard of DK Vine? You know, you can imagine how those conversations go. So
it's super exclusive. I feel really at home.
So yeah, I'm glad that I can shun people. I feel like at Christmas time I can tell Grandmama that, and she will be happy at 95. She will be happy. She was like, "Oh, good job, you're doing the Lord's works, Hyle. Good work." So yeah, Smash 4. Yeah, I don't want to relitigate that. That was a cluster shit show of a fuckhole. But I did not like Smash 4. I played Smash 4. You know, it's funny, playing Ultimate reminded me actually how much I did play Smash 4 when it came out. Because I thought when I played Ultimate, I'm not going to remember anything from Smash 4. Like, anything that's carried over from Smash 4, be it stages, items, characters, will barely ring any bells in my brain. And I was wrong. I was like, oh yeah, I actually played, especially Smash for the 3DS, I played that quite extensively when it came out, despite not really enjoying it, and despite really just hating the whole endeavor by the time the Wii U game came out. I did play it quite a bit, quite extensively. But you came to me last season and you said, hey, we should do a Smash Brothers episode. And I said, what? Why? There's no point. There's no point for this. One, they have not announced a new Smash Brothers game. Sakurai was in an iron lung on his deathbed after completing the last 2 games that coincided with each other. There's no way he's going to churn out a Smash Brothers game for another 2 to 3 years. If that, I really don't see any reason why we're going to be talking about Smash Brothers in 2017. But we did it, and I remember being... I don't really remember much about that episode, but I do remember being pretty low energy during the entire thing.
Yeah, that was definitely the case. I remember at one point we talked about, like, characters we wanted and new modes we wanted. And I want to go back now and listen to at least that part of the episode where we talked about the characters we wanted, because I'm pretty sure they were, like, absolutely ridiculous choices. They were incredibly off the wall, not thinking with any sort of actual mammal brain choices. But some of them were K. Rool, and we got that. And some of them were like a single player mode that actually takes time, and we got that. And some of them were making the game more balanced for competitive play, so more different kinds of people can enjoy the game, and we got that. So honestly, I feel like that episode was really important in terms of trying to let Nintendo know what we want, and then having it bounce against a wall and them just doing whatever they want anyway. But, you know, if they did listen to us, it was good that we did it.
Show. Nintendo loves listening to this show, and they take down ideas from the show all the time. But that doesn't actually sound so far-fetched, considering what we eventually got actually coincided with a lot of ways I think Smash needed to be fixed. But yeah, anyway, at the time I thought, look, I am so over Smash, and I'm so kind of just frustrated with it. As a Donkey Kong fan, Donkey Kong Universe fan, the things I like are in no way reflected by Sakurai's own taste. So it's just like, it's like two ex-lovers who have completely grown apart. You'll remember the good times you had with them always, but at the end of the day, you're on two separate paths, and those paths, you just believe they're never going to meet again, you know? So it's just best to wish them well and go on your way and not get invested in what they're doing. And that's the way I really felt about Smash, especially after Smash 4, which was just one body blow after another. We got a few good things, there's a critter in Smash Run, which I hated Smash Run, so really that didn't amount to anything.
Yeah, sure.
And I mean, we got, a Donkey Kong Country Return stage, but it was all just hollow victories, especially when you compare it to the game itself, which I did not enjoy. Out of all of the iterations of Smash, I felt like Smash 4 was the least amount of fun to play. And maybe that's an overreaction compared to the N64 original, which gets by just by being the basis for all of this. But I probably, will find that more playable than the N64 original going back to it now. But I don't know. It's just, I was done, man. And then they announced it at the beginning of the year, or close to the beginning of the year, with that inkling, fake out with, there's the fiery Smash ball, the Smash logo with all the silhouettes of all these characters in the bottom. There was Donkey Kong, so we're not going to play that game. That Sakurai has cut Donkey Kong. And then so we talked about it then, and I was still done with it. I didn't want any part of this, Mitchell. And then they said it was coming this year, and it was just like, bullshit. Fuck you. It's not coming this year. It's going to be delayed. There's no way they're going to have this game ready by then. This is all just a bunch of nonsense. I don't want to hear it. I'm crawling under my bed.
Did you
Mondays,
crawl under your
am I
bed?
right?
Yeah. Great.
So, and then E3 came, and we knew Smash was going to be pretty much the entirety of Nintendo's focus at E3, which I didn't know how I felt about that, but whatever. It's E3. We're physically there, and so being physically there is a bit different than experiencing it at home. And one of the reasons it's different in a good way is that you're more game for whatever. It's not just, I'm getting less than stellar news that doesn't excite me. Well, I'm here at home, whatever. E3 is kind of a bust. I'm going to go outside. I'm going to go to the store. I'm going to go for a hike. I'm going to go into my own bathroom and take a big bowel movement. There's a lot of things you can do at home to make you forget about E3, but when you're at E3, it's a cocoon. You're there, and there's a lot of adrenaline running through you as a result. So Smash being the focus of Nintendo's E3 didn't really concern me as much because I knew being there, it would be exciting regardless. Okay, so we got the big Nintendo Direct on that Tuesday, E3 Tuesday.
E3 Tuesday,
Everybody's there. Everybody's there. Every character is there. And then that kind of was the first good news, because
it was like two-thirds of that general E3 Direct was actually just Smash Bros.
Yeah.
Which is not a great sign for a E3 Direct, but a pretty great sign for Smash Bros.
It was, considering that the news that we got was enough to make me happy, considering I had zero expectation, and actually not just zero expectation, I have probably negative expectations as far as Smash Brothers Ultimate went. As we came to know it, Smash Brothers Ultimate. Then it was just called Super Smash Brothers. But I was really feeling like, all right, I'm probably going to hate this, but so long as it's just a little bit better than the last one, that will be a good thing. And having every single character in Smash history in the game in Smash Ultimate was a good thing. Okay, it's already better. I'm open to hear what you're pitching to me, Sakurai. game on. Let's do this. And then they announced Ridley, and then you got Daisy and, the Echo Fighters and all of that. So then we played it.
Well, after Ridley, though, Ridley was like the capstone of the presentation. That was their one last present behind the tree situation. We finally did it. We got Ridley. And that, to me, signaled a very critical difference between the philosophy of Smash Wii U and Smash Ultimate. Where Smash Wii U was... It felt like Sakurai's riding high. He's feeling good about himself. He's feeling himself a little bit. Maybe a little prematurely. But, Brawl came out, and people didn't like it, but it was the best-selling one in the series. And I don't think he felt the reality of that until after Smash 4 came out. And there were some aspects of the game where now Smash 4 is the worst-selling one in the series, even compared to the first one. And there were serious areas for improvement. So with Ridley, I saw that as, okay, he's listening to fans in a way that is no longer dismissive. Because before, in the past, he said, no, I just think Ridley's too big. And you know what? Looking at how small they made Ridley for Smash Bros., I don't entirely disagree. He's a little comically, small. He's still one of the biggest characters in the game, little small. But anyway, he decided it was worth doing. Because that many people from the audience, the player base, wanted it to happen so much, and they had ideas for okay, well, I mean, Bowser's sometimes huge, just scale him down. Just scale Ridley down like you would anything else. And other aspects of that E3 Direct, where they said things like, okay, we're bringing back the directional air dodge, which is such a specific call-out to a very specific demand from a very specific group of people that I had no expectation of seeing. But I wanted to see it, and it along with Ridley, along with presenting the new perfect clones in a way that felt less like an insult and more like, hey, it's just more bang for your buck. We could have easily just not have done these clones, but they're so easy to do, we'll just give you a bunch. So many aspects of that E3 presentation, to me, just hit home immediately of how this game was going to be different in philosophy. And it... I came on the Kongversation later that day, I think, and we talked about how I at that point expected Rool and Banjo. I really did, because they were the kinds of characters that would go along with something like Inkling. I think Inkling is easy to dismiss because there was no way Inkling wasn't going to be in the game. After Splatoon, Inkling for sure had to be there, but Inkling paired with Ridley said, hey, no, you want these things. So we're going to do the things that you want the most. Don't worry about it being a safe choice or not if we have the rights to it. And you want it that much. Of course. We'll do it. We'll do the thing. And I think that was a really good look for Nintendo. And for Sakurai and the development team at Bandai Namco.
I do have to disagree with something you said there, though. You said that Smash 4 was the worst welling game of the series, and I have a good feeling that more copies of that game were chucked down wells than any other in the series. It's the best welling one of the series.
There's no way we can find out.
We can check some wells.
We can check some wells, but we can't check all the wells.
We can check how many wells are out there. I think this is going to be a fun way to spend our winter, Mitchell. The solstice is here. Let's go lower ourselves into some wells. Like Baby Jessica will get stuck. They'll have to come rescue us. But we can come up with a whole armful of Smash for Wii U game cases.
Did you play that new Pokemon game, Let's Go Lower Ourselves into Some Wells?
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, Ridley. I was happy for the Ridley fans. I wanted Ridley in Smash Brothers. Obviously, I had no personal stakes in that, but it was just such a no-brainer, especially when Melee put the idea in everybody's heads. It was just like, oh, yeah, finally. Because you just need more villains in Smash Brothers, because those dream matchups, they're not just heroes facing each other. They're heroes, bad guys, all the different combinations you can make. That's where the joy of Smash Brothers really shines, as far as just the sheer giddy thrill of having all of these crossovers and mashups. So yeah, I was all for Ridley. Still didn't think we were gonna get K. Rool. I have to be honest. I completely pessimistic about everything post Smash 4, and it was slowly working my way backward from that viewpoint. Playing it, though, did help. And I noticed at E3, when Memechi kicked my ass, that the game... I mean, I have to be honest, Memechi killed me pretty dead. And I have to... besides that, though, I have to say, though, at the time, I thought, you know what? This plays a lot closer to Melee. This feels very, very good in a way that Brawl and 4 never felt. And I'm not one of those people who really minded Brawl. I liked Brawl in a lot of ways. But yeah, I mean, gun to my head, I still say Melee plays better. And I'm not like a purist. I'm not one of these tournament guys. I'm not for glory. I'm just for fun. I'm just a girl having some fun, Mitchell. And besides that, though, I can still feel a difference. I can't articulate it. I can't put it down into words. I can't say like, oh, well, I want this. Oh, the directional hoo-ha and this and this and there's L edging and whatever terms you want to use. That's a term, right? L edging.
No.
So I don't know. Yeah, it has to be somewhere. But I don't know any of that bullshit. I don't know any of that. I'm telling you right now, I'm on this platform exposing myself to the world saying I don't know. But I know what I like, and I just feel it. And I didn't care for 4. Brawl, I admired its ambition, and there was a lot to love about it, but it didn't play as well. But I noticed right away, Ultimate feels good. And I was excited. That got me excited. Playing as Donkey Kong at E3, getting massacred by Memechi as Ridley, made me think, hey, you know what? I might have a good time with this. Doesn't matter what's going to happen. Doesn't matter if we don't get anything else. I'm going to have fun with this. This might be way better than Smash 4 ever turned out to be. So, then, I mean, we're just blowing through the greatest hits here, but K. Rool's reveal completely changed the game for us. All of a sudden, we had this massively huge thing in our community that some of us had given up hope for, some of us never gave up hope for. People were, like, tried and true and married to this idea to the end, and surprise, I mean, Sakurai came through. Sakurai heard us. The ballot, I mean, K. Rool might have won the ballot. If he didn't win the ballot, he was very, very close. Enough that it actually shook Nintendo.
Me, I feel like I'm pretty sure he won the ballot.
I mean, I am too. I don't have the actual confirmation, and people have taken Dave Throat's correspondences with us to say, as proof that K. Rool won the ballot. Dave Throat never actually said K. Rool won the ballot, so I don't know, but I'm pretty sure as well.
If you look at who also got in the game, I guess Inkling and Ridley are contenders for other characters that could have won the ballot, but Ridley was like deconfirmed, and the ballot was definitely seemingly for Smash 4 DLC and not for a new game. So I wonder how many people actually voted for Ridley. And then with Inklings, maybe, but it was a very new property at the time, so I don't know how much of a fan base it had already garnered. But
I feel like Inkling was just one of those things where, okay, if we just give it time, of course they're going to get in. Like, it would be such a wasted vote to vote for the Inklings.
People voted for the Inklings. They made themselves known.
I'm not dismissing that. I'm just saying, if you're a fan of the Inklings, of course they're going to be in Smash Brothers. Whereas something like K. Rool was more of a the ballot is the only shot we've got kind of situation. So
I don't know. We felt that way about ARMS. Didn't get ARMS.
But isn't that because the creator of ARMS said no?
No.
Didn't the creator of ARMS say that ARMS wasn't ready to be in Smash?
No.
Yeah.
No, there was an interview where someone asked him if his characters were going to be in Smash, and the creator of ARMS and the Mario Kart guy, he said, it might be unlikely considering how new ARMS is, but we've seen that not matter so many times in the past that wasn't really taken into account as to mean anything.
I thought,
and I don't really think it did mean anything because
I thought they were being very magnanimous and just saying no. So many characters deserve it before our own. Please.
No, they never said anything like that.
Okay, well then fuck them.
But my point was that if they were taking a character from the ballot, and Sakurai has confirmed in his Famitsu articles that K. Rool is definitely from the ballot, like that is why. There is not other reasons. There are not other reasons. Then you'd have to assume, then he scored the highest, because you wouldn't do that for like the number 2. Or at least he scored the highest as like ranking Nintendo characters, like ranking characters they legitimately had access to that weren't just jokes, like Shrek.
Right.
Right. So I do think out of those characters, if it wasn't K. Rool, I don't know who it would be, because they didn't end up on the roster. Like nothing that I really could have seen beating K. Rool ended up happening for the base roster. So yeah, I think K. Rool, like you can safely say it. I think he won the ballot. Obviously, yeah, we don't have anything concrete to push that idea, but I don't feel like I'm working outside of the scientific method here.
No, you're right. I mean, I think everybody kind of has that feeling that K. Rool probably won the ballot. We'll never know for sure, but K. Rool got in the game, and all of a sudden that just made the hype off the charts for this. All of a sudden, Donkey Kong fans and K. Rool fans had something huge to look forward to. And so everything good about Smash Ultimate was just then through the stratosphere. Like, that completely upended any discussion we would ever have about Smash Ultimate. Again, the question was, of course, when we actually got the game in our hands, was it going to feel as good as it did at E3, or were there going to be significant flaws? And we had a minor blip along the way with the so-called Grinch leak.
Right.
We don't need to relitigate that because that's still pretty fresh. But despite the fact that we didn't get Banjo-Kazooie, at least in the base game, I don't think it really did much to dampen our enthusiasm for Smash Ultimate. So now it's been out for about 2 weeks now. And before we get into this, I would just like to say we will not, I repeat, we will not be getting into World of Light on this episode. That will be part 2. So if you're worried about spoilers, if you haven't really touched it like I have not touched it, then don't worry. We're not going to be discussing that on this episode. You're free to listen. All spoilers will be pretty minimal as relating to the other modes. So,
Yep.
Okay. So, here we go. Mitchell, been playing Smash Ultimate for the better part of 2 weeks. So, I'll just rip off the scab that just healed from Smash 4, and I will say, at the risk of contradicting myself in the future, see my Donkey Kong 64 review from 1999 for a classic example of that. But I will say that Super Smash Bros. Ultimate might be my favorite Smash Bros. Of all time. It's definitely, I think, dethroned Melee. It's almost everything in every way that I could have ever wanted out of Smash Brothers, especially in 2018. It's at least close enough to that ideal. Obviously, there are things that I did not get, There are dreams that are left unfulfilled, but it's as close as I ever thought we could get, especially after the direction Smash Brothers took just 4 years ago, that I am left content. I am left happy. I am left, yes, giddy about everything, that there is no way I'm going to complain about this. This is so much fun. This is so rewarding. I feel like not a kid, but I guess a late teen sitting on the den floor playing Super Smash Bros. Melee all over again. I'm getting the same joyous thrill that I once got back on my GameCube.
Yeah, I definitely understand the emotion here. I also have it, but I don't want to get too excited and say something definitive quite yet. Like a lasagna laying out in the hot July sun on the asphalt of the road we call life, we might be a good thing in a bad set of circumstances. Like, you don't want to let your lasagna just dry up and fizzle in the sun, or be run over by a big old car with dirty, dirty tires. But also, like a lasagna, we have no faculty of knowing if the situation we are in is bad. We don't know because we haven't seen the way that the game will progress into its later years of life. And the lasagna doesn't know because the lasagna does not have like a brain or brains. So it isn't sure what month it is because it can't think or tell time. Similarly, we just don't know if we're in a good position or not either. But I can say this, I don't know if it's daytime or nighttime for the lasagna right now, but it's only about 63 is a better one. 63 degrees outside, so pretty temperate. And I'm seeing garlic and thyme on that lasagna. That's a good seasoned lasagna. There are reasons to be optimistic about the situation for both ourselves and the lasagna.
Is this a Garfield and Friends cartoon that I like? What?
I'm just saying. Someone in the chat said that Mitch is desperately trying to stop himself from saying soggy taco. I would never say that Super Smash Bros. Ultimate is a soggy taco. There are some things about
You're saying it's crusted lasagna.
It's good. Lasagna is good. What are you not into lasagna?
It depends. I'm lactose intolerant, and I've discovered recently that I have high sensitivity to copious amounts of tomato sauce. So lasagna is like Russian roulette.
I have high sensitivity to just about anything you can have a copious amount of. You should have less. You should have less tomato sauce.
Okay, but I feel like, you go into an Italian restaurant, they're going to slather on that tomato sauce. They're not going to be like they're not going to be conservative with the tomato sauce. They're going to be like, "Oh, I'm an Italian Mario. I'm going to slather on the tomato. Mamma mia, Sal Romano's macaroni kitchen."
Yeah, no, it's just like that. The gist of what I was trying to say is, while you were comfortable saying that this is your favorite, but you don't know if it's the best, I kind of feel the opposite way about it, where I feel really strongly about everything that's in the game and how balanced it at least seems to be. In the future, we may see just like every tournament, every single player's playing Crom the same way everyone was playing Bayonetta. Who knows how it develops? But right now it looks good, and it looks maybe the healthiest Smash has ever looked at this launch state. But as for my favorite, that would depend on like how well it continues to garner support and competition throughout its lifetime, because my previous favorite Smash game and one of my like top 5 games of all time is Melee, and it's in no small part, in addition to the fact that it's just like a really well put together game for anyone, it also had a really good, it's still going, a really, really long, competitive, healthy life in the tournament scene that continues to garner spectators and professional players. So I do want to see if Ultimate can hang with Melee when it comes to that. But But in general, like, yeah, it looks really good to the point where I could see it in the future dethroning Melee for me. Easily. I could. It might not. I could, though.
It's interesting to me that you come at it from that perspective, because for me, the whole tournament aspect, the whole professional Smash player world plays no part in my enjoyment of Smash Brothers. Smash Brothers for me is much more of a closed ecosystem. It's very much what's in front of me and how I experience it with me and maybe a close-knit circle of friends and family. So for me, like this is great. What we've got right now, this is terrific, and I don't really care what the tastemakers of the Smash community say. I know that this is Smash the way I would want it done. So I'm going to be having fun with this for years to come. So I get where you're coming from.
I hear what
Absolutely.
you're saying, but at the same time, I would say that even if you're not seeking content out for, like, Melee right now, say, even if you're not seeking it out, even if you're not going to tournaments or watching tournament players online or engaging in any kind of discourse about the game really at all anymore, the fact that it has kept itself relevant has done good for just about every series that's represented in the game. Especially ones that have good representation in the game. So, like, you look at a character or characters that we really like what they've done with, like, Diddy Kong and K. Rool in this game, and K. Rool will continue to be relevant as long as Ultimate continues to be relevant. And the longevity of a game like this is somewhat dependent on the competitive scene. So even if you're not, like, there, I would argue it matters to you in some way. It maybe not directly. Yeah.
Yeah, but that doesn't really say, like, okay, so yeah, those are, like, kind of big picture aspects, but that doesn't change the fact that I could say 10 years from now, hey, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate is my personal favorite Smash Brothers. Sure. Having no bearing on whether or not K. Rool got the golden ticket out of this game or not. Like, where I was at this point in time in 2018 playing Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, that cannot be altered from what might happen down the line. So I get where you're coming from, but I'm just saying from my little chair here, my little beanbag chair purchased at Goodwill with a few bodily fluid stains and some cigarettes burned through, I can say right now that, yeah, this is my favorite Smash Brothers game. This completely actually blows away everything in Melee, because not only does it play like Melee, but it has the additions that Brawl and 4 brought to the series, but better blended into the mix, so it's not so upsetting in the balance. And oh, by the way, here's K. Rool. Yeah, you got K. Rool too. So not only does it play fantastically, not only does it have everything that the sequels brought, but in a way that's not ruinous to that core experience. But yeah, you get the biggest piece of fucking fan service you could have ever hoped for. Enjoy. So
sure. I'm also personally just coming from, like, a perspective of, I'm only a few years out of college, and in college, my roommates and I had the opportunity and the ability, the privilege, really, to go to different like tournaments for things, or at least just play together often enough to where we would want to get better. Just playing with humans regularly in a game like Smash or really any kind of couch multiplayer game, I think does it does it just makes it so you want to get better. So for me, I am, I'm also a casual player of Smash. It's not like one precludes the other. So the fact that we have this game that does really well by casual standards, and then also really well, I mean, apparently we'll have to see, by competitive standards, it's like we're not leaving anyone out. And I think that's important for just, like, beyond myself. I don't think there's any real reason that a casual player getting what they want should forego a competitive player getting what they want, or vice versa, because the best kinds of games are very simple to understand, very easy to walk into. They have that low skill floor, but they are also vessels for if you want to take it to the next level, if you want to get better, if you want to get a little deeper into the mechanics of the game. That skill ceiling is also really high. That creates a really wide window, a high skill ceiling and a low skill floor, where the most possible players can get in there and try that game. And that's kind of just what I've been asking for since Melee, and something that apparently has been impossible to deliver until now, but it is delivered, and that is a huge part of why I'm so excited about Ultimate. It doesn't seem like anyone really is getting shafted.
Yeah, and keep in mind, I'm coming at this from the perspective of a 35-year-old man who walks around downtown completely nude with nothing but a banana peel on his wiener singing the DK rap. So our perspectives are a little bit different.
But Smash is for everyone. So
Smash is for everyone. That's what I'm saying. Like, I felt like Smash 4 was really made for two audiences. It was a lot of concessions were attempted to be made for the tournament crowd, but it failed. And it was made for Sakurai. That's it. I felt like everybody else was excluded from Smash 4. Maybe that would just be me being dramatic, with me and my fainting couch. Oh, Smash 4. Oh, the horror, But no, I really felt shut out of Smash 4. I don't feel shut out of Smash Ultimate. I feel like Smash Ultimate, there is a little corner just for me and my friends. Like, here you go. Sorry we forgot about you. Have fun. And that aspect, that there is something for everybody to enjoy. It's been amazing walking around these past 2 weeks. Just Smash Ultimate has been everywhere, both on the internet and in real life. I was urinating in a mall restroom,
as one does,
because holiday shopping. One has to procure gifts for their loved ones and people you don't want to have as enemies. And I looked up at the graffiti up on the wall, and there was a long, lengthy debate in graffiti about the merits of Smash Brothers characters.
No way,
Smash
really?
Ultimate. Yeah,
Did you
then
tweet
of course
this?
I did not, because right next to that were some swastikas and some really anti-Semitic garbage written up there. So I was like, well, this wouldn't really make for a good Twitter post now, would it? So maybe Gab, but DK Vine is not on Gab. So yeah, where were we? We were talking about Smash
I think we
Ultimate
just like
War.
Smash Bros.
Yeah. So it's been really thrilling to see that this is a game that's really appealing to such a wide demographic. And I really felt like that wasn't the case with Smash 4, probably because nobody owned a Wii U, but also because I really felt like Smash 4 really just was so off in so many ways. And I know you had great experiences with it, being the right age and having the right social setting for it, where I didn't. So it's funny now because Smash Ultimate has come about when I'm a married man, and I will get into a little bit about this, but it's been amazing having a wife who I can play Smash Brothers with. And that's something that you don't really think about before you get married, but when you do, you're like, oh, wow, this is sweet. This is sweet.
You're right. I don't really think about playing Smash Bros. With my wife as of now, an unmarried person.
No, but I'm thinking, like, back when I got married,
I had not considered it.
Back when I got married, I didn't think, oh, great, when the new Smash Brothers comes out, I'll have somebody to play with on the couch. Like, I didn't consider that, but it's great. I want to talk a little bit about my initial experiences playing the game, as I want you to talk about. It's because I'm sure we played the game in very different ways. And that's the fun of Smash Brothers, and the fun of Sakurai's design philosophies is that you can approach this however you want. You can kind of customize the experience to your own preferences. And as much as we make fun of those endless Smash Directs where Sakurai gets into the options menus and really gets into this minutia detail that just does not play in a setting like a Nintendo Direct where you're looking for those high impact reveals. It is much appreciated when you actually sit down with it because you can kind of tailor the experience to however your brain is wired. And so a lot of people were tweeting at me and Facebooking at me saying that, and not Tumblring at me because our Tumblr audience has completely plateaued since the purple nipples went away.
Since the accident, yeah.
Yeah. They've been saying, hey, Hyle, you want to unlock Rool straight away. Spoilers, by the way. Just beat classic mode with Link. Why don't you just do that? Do that first thing. You can get Rool. Well, the first thing I wanted to do in Smash Brothers was not play classic mode with Link, of all things. I'm a Donkey Kong man. I'm a Donkey Kong Universe aficionado. I'm a freak, Mitchell. And the first thing I wanted to do in Smash Ultimate, you got those original 8 characters, the core. So I was going to play as Donkey Kong. That's what I'm going to do. And I'm just going to have a good time. I'm going to get the feel of this. I am going to play a lot of 101 Smash matches. Some against my wife, some against the computer. I'm going to do some training. Why not? I'm gonna just beat the shit out of a motionless second player to get well acquainted with the way Donkey Kong plays. So, just slowly build my way up. And that's what I did for the better part of the first weekend. I just played Donkey Kong in 101 Smash matches. And, I'll get into a little bit about Donkey Kong here, but, Mitchell, what did you do? Like, how did you first approach the game?
When I got home from the GameStop where they decided to, put the game out for a midnight release because they're GameStop and they don't have anything left to lose, I just got home and my little sister, she's about like 13. She was there and she was like, "Oh, hey, can we play?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure, let's do it." So before I did anything like with an agenda, I started just like her and I played a few matches, just seeing how that went, and we played all different kinds of characters. I like Mario, Donkey Kong, Pikachu, everything, and we just accidentally unlocked a few characters because it's really easy to do just from individual smash. No, that's how it is. Smash match. And then like after that, when she was done and I realized I'm probably going to stay up the entire rest of the night by myself playing this, I beelined it to World of Light and did pretty much as I could of that. And then throughout the next like 2 or 3 days, I just kept doing that until I finished that, which going through that process unlocks every character. So that is how I got the characters.
Yeah, so, well, my experience was different because I did not go to a GameStop at midnight. The way I did it was I pre-ordered this on Amazon because I wanted to get the Steelbook that everybody seems to hate. Okay, so I got the deluxe edition. I don't know what you call it, but it comes with the game cartridge in a steelbook, a black steelbook with the fiery smash ball on it, and then you open it up and it's the battlefield stage in the background, but the little metallic bits on it are actually shiny, so it's kind of cool. But comes with the Smash Pro controller as well, which, oh boy, I'm glad I have. And well, yeah, that's it. But so
cool.
I wanted to get the Steelbook, Mitchell, because I don't know, I'm weird. And I like that I have a Smash case that nobody else really seems to have in my circle. So I'm like, oh yeah, we're talking about Smash Ultimate. I did it at our DK Vine meeting tonight with the staff. We were talking about Smash Brothers, and I just held it up. I was like, "Oh yeah, look, Smash Brothers." Oh wait, you don't recognize this? Oh, it's the Steelbook, yeah. And nobody's impressed because everybody thinks it looks like a piece of garbage. But I'm happy. It makes me feel like a special snowflake.
I don't think it looks bad as much as the regular standard art looks good. Like, yeah. I'm so impressed with their artistic choices with that box art.
Honestly, the box that the deluxe edition comes in looks better because it is that artwork, but with the characters like raised. So the cardboard is raised for each individual character.
Ooh,
so
that's
it looks
cool.
really nice. And then you open it up and you get this just black piece of steel. And it's like,
that's the
okay.
famous box from Box Theory. The theory that made a lot of people guess that we were just getting Canon Incineroar after Isabel, and it turned out to be very correct. That's a famous box.
That I'm glad this famous box is now just gathering dust on my desk, my very, very messy desk. Anyway, so because I ordered it from GameStop, because I had to be weird and have the unappealing case for it, I did not get it until something like 9 p.m. that Friday. So like well after most people got it, like 21 hours after a lot of people picked it up. So whatever, I got it.
As a West Coaster, I got mine. I didn't have to wait till midnight. They did it at 9 p.m. because in California we just cannot be fucked. You can't really inconvenience us that much. We won't go for it. So
you make I know. You get to watch Saturday Night Live 3 hours earlier than the rest of us. Not that any of us watch Saturday Night Live.
It is a pleasure and a treasure to watch Saturday Night Live when sometimes it's not even dark outside.
Well, considering that most of the show is actually on Sunday morning for us on the East Coast. So, I got it. And so by that point, I was just like, oh, fucking finally, it's here. Thank you, UPS man. So, I play it and getting the hang of the Pro Controller. I have to say, I love the Pro Controller. I can say that the Pro Controller is probably my top 3 of controllers now, along with the Xbox 360 Onward model and the GameCube controller.
This is what we've been trying to tell you.
I want to have sex with the Pro Controller. I don't know why Jerry Seinfeld said that, but it was him, not me. So the only issue I have with the Pro Controller is the layout is very, very similar to the Xbox one, but just slightly different.
Yeah,
so I keep hitting the wrong buttons, and I keep cursing. And then I go back to the Xbox to play Sea of Thieves, and I hit the wrong buttons, and I curse. So a lot of cursing, a lot of sweary words exiting my mouth hole. But it's worth it because I really do like the Pro Controller, and I really wouldn't want to be playing Smash without it. So, I was playing with the Pro Controller, playing as Donkey Kong. Donkey Kong plays so well, Mitchell. The weirdest thing about the way they did this, it's not weird, but it's just it's not even interesting. It's just kind of a thing that happened.
Don't get us wrong, listeners. This won't be interesting.
Yeah, no, you can tune out right now because I plan to bore you with this. Now, the thing about Donkey Kong in the game and the way Sakurai did it, where only the original 8 N64 characters, even excluding the 4 unlockable ones in the first Smash from 99 or 98 if you're Japanese, but I think it came out in 98 in Japan, right? Yeah, late 98.
I want to say it was 99 everywhere.
Really? Okay.
Well, no, I'm probably wrong, but I want to say it. Let's see how it goes. I'm going to Google it.
I know Mario Party was 98 in Japan, but it came out 99 here. And I link Mario Party and Super Smash Bros. Together because they were both announced.
It was 99 everywhere.
Okay. They were in Mario Party and Smash N64 were announced on the same night, along with Donkey Kong 64. It was New Year's when they were announced on Nintendo.com for the US market. So I link those two together all the time. But playing Donkey Kong, having to play as Donkey Kong and not like just defaulting to Diddy because he's there or trying out K. Rool because he's available from the start. They're not. So you have to pick somebody. And of course, I'm going to pick as Donkey Kong. I have not really played a whole lot as Donkey Kong, starting with Brawl onward, because Diddy is my favorite video game character of all time. Diddy is my man. But I played as Donkey Kong almost exclusively with the N64 game and with Melee, minus any characters, anytime I'd have to play as characters to unlock stuff or do things with them, I tried out everybody, of course, but Donkey Kong was my main, to use the Smash professional parlance, my main. And, well, I know, I got educated here, Mitchell. I looked it up, and they call them mains.
Yeah.
This is something that, a lot of people keep secret, but I'm going to divulge that here on the Kongversation. They're called mains. And
Great.
So Donkey Kong, I'm honestly the most comfortable with Donkey Kong. Like Diddy, I will play the most as, but I've never really gotten the hang of Diddy like I've gotten the hang of Donkey Kong. And having to play as Donkey Kong, I kind of rediscovered him as a character in Smash. And I love Donkey Kong in Ultimate. He plays beautifully. He plays like Melee, but there's just little imperceptible improvements, including the final smash, which I love his final smash. Just, yeah, I've had so much fun just kicking ass as Donkey Kong. It's been an absolute privilege. And while I've unlocked K. Rool now, and I've played more as K. Rool since unlocking him, I'm honestly still jumping back and forth between him and Donkey Kong. Playing more as K. Rool probably, but I'm still kind of not ready to put Donkey Kong up on the shelf. So it's been a surprise. I wasn't expecting to have as much fun playing as Donkey Kong as I did. I thought it was going to be, okay, I'll play as Donkey Kong until I unlock K. Rool or Diddy, whatever. But when I unlocked K. Rool, it just kind of became this thing where, oh, okay, bye, Donkey. I'm sorry. Just don't be mad. So.
Yeah, I have weird, expressive thoughts on basically every character so far.
We don't need to go into all 60 plus characters.
But, we're on a Donkey Kong podcast, so just to go into him, I've never really played heavy characters. I want something with speed so I can move around, and I don't want to feel like I can't get my moves out fast enough, because that always gets me a little too frustrated, a little bit more frustrated than I should be when I'm playing a video game. Having to someone say, oh, you want to punch now? Well, it's going to take 0.2 of a second, and my thing only takes 0.1 of a second. You're going to lose every time. So heavy characters have never really been my bag. But in this game,
but Donkey Kong isn't a heavy character. He's kind of a middleweight when you consider his agility and the fucking spinning Kong.
Donkey Kong is absolutely a heavy character. Many things are so much faster than him.
He just plays a lot more agile than, say, Bowser does.
Well, yeah, Bowser, of course, is the heaviest character in the game. But Donkey Kong, for sure, especially if you go back to look at 64, where he was really the only heavy in the game. Maybe Samus a little bit, but Samus not so much. I've never really gone for that character archetype that much at all. And in this game, heavies have been buffed just because of how the game works. I don't want to get into it. It's a lot of weird specifics. But in general, all you need to know is they've never been that great until now. And I wanted to check out, okay, well, of the heavies in the game, Donkey Kong and K. Rool are the ones that I'm personally the most interested in really checking out now. And Donkey Kong is just so agile. He's so agile, and he has so many different options, which is not something that a hulking character usually has. If you look at Bowser, he's got a few tricks, which makes him pretty predictable, and it makes him repetitive. And I've never felt repetitive with,
which is weird.
Yeah, mostly card tricks, which is really weird for a fighting game. He's like, "Is this your card?" And then Peach is like, "No." And you just have to accept that you aren't very good at magic. Donkey Kong, however, has a bunch of meteor smashes, which are much more applicable to fighting games. And just stuff that you can use. I felt there was never a situation where I was playing as Donkey Kong where I really felt oh man, I was stuck in that situation. I couldn't do anything there. I could always do something. I always had some way to blame myself instead of the game, which sounds bad, but it's actually good. You want to be able to blame yourself instead of just like fighting against the physics of the game. And I think Donkey Kong made that really cool.
So, okay, so I'm going to get a little personal here.
All right.
After the forum went down for 6 days and it was eventually put back up thanks to Matt's sex, I had a little bit of a breakdown. Not a breakdown, but it was kind of a stress-induced panic attack, and I had to get away. I had to get away for a day. So, like Michelle and I, like
you went on an antsy fancy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just had an antsy little fancy.
Yeah, we went into the mountains because Michelle's family was staying up there. They were having like this little get together, and initially didn't think we were gonna make it because there's too much to do. But made some last minute arrangements. Like, okay, we're gonna go up. We're gonna have a cabin, and we're gonna see Michelle's side of the family, her parents, her brother, her sister, their spouses, and what have you. So. After scheduling out like 6 Facebook posts, because even after a nervous breakdown, thanks to holiday stress and running a Donkey Kong web empire, I still have to get all my social media planned before I leave because I'm my own social media community manager. And we went up to the mountains, and it was wonderful. Dalthet State Park, check it out if you're in Virginia. But I took my Switch with me, and I took Smash Brothers, and I was like, you know what, this might be fun playing Smash up in a cabin in the mountains with Michelle's family, because I knew her brother loved Smash Melee and Brawl back in the day, and there's a lot of gamers in that family, so I took it and hooked it up to the TV, and I've been playing it quite a bit with Michelle on her Switch profile, not my own, so it doesn't mess up my stats. But I said that's my save file, so we will only besmirch your own save file. That was actually our prenup when we got married.
Yeah.
But no,
gotta
so
have
we
a
were
lawyer
playing
look at that. There's always one of those.
Yeah, so we were playing it, of course, on her profile, but that's the benefit of couch play, I suppose. But as playing it against her, her brother, her nephew, or I guess my nephew too. Since I'm an uncle now, that's weird to think about. Anyway, so we were playing all that, and I was like massacring as Donkey Kong. So it was weird because this is the first time I've really played Smash against other people since Mamechi killed me. So it was weird to feel good at the game because I've never considered myself a good Smash Brothers player, just adequate, especially in my own like ecosystem. I guess that's still what this is. But because I'm sure Mamechi is still gonna kill me when I'm actually ready to play online. But yeah, just like having so much fun playing as Donkey Kong. And of course, my wife and her brother are big Zelda fans, so of course they're always picking Link and Young Link and all of this shit. So it was really nice representing Donkey Kong and showing them what's what with the gorilla. But yeah, I honestly, like, I decided I was not going to unlock K. Rool initially as Link. I was fully committed to the slow grind, meaning I was just going to unlock characters as they came to me by playing just regular Smash matches. So the long way around to get K. Rool, I guess. Of course, maybe World of Light is also the long way around to get K. Rool. Having experienced that. Okay,
he's late.
But anyway, all that being said, it's just so weird how I did not have K. Rool for the first week of this game, where the primary hype factor since August has been, oh my god, K. Rool is going to be in Smash Brothers. The first appearance of K. Rool in 10 years. Playable K. Rool in this all-star fighting game. I didn't have him for the first week, and I was fine with that, and I was not even getting antsy about it. Donkey Kong and I fell back in love. And we had some moonlit strolls. We made passionate love on the dunes of the Cape. We discovered we both like pina coladas, and that was good. That was good. Because all you really need when you're thinking about cheating on each other is a shared love of pina coladas, and then you realize, I was going to cheat on you, but it turns out the person I was going to cheat on you with is actually you, because you were going to cheat on me. Mm-hmm. We're meant to be, aren't we? And that's the way I felt with Donkey Kong. But while I was in the mountains, Mitchell, while I was secluded from the rest of the world, new challenger, K. Rool silhouette. Oh shit! So actually, what happened was K. Rool first appeared on Michelle's Switch profile, because we were playing it so much with her family, because I didn't want to besmirch my own, that K. Rool first showed up there. So I knew he was coming. I knew exactly how many fighters he was away, and it was pretty evenly matched, so I knew that the next time I played my own profile, K. Rool would appear. So
if you use like one name for yourself every time, your records and stuff will only be attached to your name. So you don't... I mean, I don't know what the exact purpose is in keeping your save files differentiated, because all of your records and stuff are still going to be attached to your name.
It's to make sure that in the actual records that all of the Donkey Kong Universe characters are up at the top and everybody else is below them. No,
I know. That's still attached to, like, if you just name yourself when you like do a Smash battle. That'll still just be attached to that name versus a general thing. I don't know if it even counts general.
I don't know either, but I don't want to take that risk.
It's a big risk.
It's a big risk. Let's pull the fucking trigger, Mitchell. Like, I don't know if there's a bullet in this chamber or not. Let's find out together. No, thank you. No, thank you.
It would be a rough time letting the game know that you sometimes play other characters.
Definitely. No, I need my Switch to know that I have weird biases. It needs to be made abundantly aware of this. So it was the same way on Melee going forward. Like, I religiously kept that up. So Donkey Kong and K. Rool are at the top of all of the stats when you look in records, and everybody else is on the bottom. And poor Mario is my punching bag.
Makes sense.
I get out so much aggression in Smash, so much pent-up weirdness, and nerd rage, and oh yeah, I had to put up with that E3 where they announced 3 Mario games. Well, this is what I feel about that. Years later, I'm getting even. I love Smash Brothers. So, anyway, so that night, everybody went to bed, and like a creepy Santa Claus pittering about, I turned on the Switch, and I was like, I'm going to do it. I know K. Rool is going to be the next fighter I'm going to encounter. I am going to unlock K. Rool. And up until this point, I had defeated every single challenger, every single newcomer, as soon as they've appeared.
That's pretty impressive. People had a hard time with that.
Yeah, no problem. I got pretty good with Donkey Kong again, all right? So, all of a sudden that, K. Rool, his silhouette. All right. We already did this on Michelle's profile. No problem. And then just panic sets in, Mitchell. I don't know what happened. Seeing K. Rool there, it all came crashing down in my mind. I was like, oh my god, this is it. K. Rool. I can play as K. Rool. I can play as K. Rool. I can play as K. Rool. What's happening? He beat me. My hands were trembling. I got so fucking panicky. And maybe it's just the psychological factor of usually the only time I ever fight K. Rool is at the end of a Donkey Kong game. So I got final boss stress induced sweats or something. I don't know, right. But he beat me. That was mortifying. Not only was it a blemish on my records because it counts as a fall against Donkey Kong, but it was midnight here in the mountains, and I'm like feeling humiliated, and all of a sudden, boom, there, K. Rool. K. Rool is not unlocked, and I know that if I just continue on with the grind, well, guess what? It's going to be somebody else. I think Sonic was next. Fuck you, Sonic. No offense to Sonic the Hedgehog or Josh Wallen from Off of the Geek Critique, if you happen to be listening to this, but I don't really give a shit about Sonic after I had the chance to have K. Rool on my roster. So I eventually cash in my rematch, because you can get the rematch in classic mode. There's that option there, and unlocked. I got him the second time around. I was able. I think my just frustration over losing just allowed me to just shake off any panic I had and make quick work of him. Unlocked K. Rool, and then took a break the next day because we were in the mountains, and then I had to travel back. She actually stayed up there with her family for the rest of the weekend, so that gave me the rest of the weekend, last weekend, to play Smash kind of by myself, and played a lot of K. Rool that weekend. And oh my god, K. Rool is amazing, Mitchell. Oh my god.
It's so cool how well they did it. Before we move on, just a side note, Josh Wallen from the Geek Critique, he had a really, really good recent video on Sonic Adventure 2 that you should all check out. That's neither here nor there, I just really liked it. But also, K. Rool, man, he is one of the most authentic characters in the game. Like, before K. Rool, we associated, like, I think the most authentic characters in the game. It felt like Mega Man feels like playing Mega Man, and the Belmonts definitely feel like Castlevania. Oh, and Ryu. How Ryu feels like he's just from Street Fighter, even like the weird button combinations from Street Fighter that aren't really a thing in Smash Bros. Still work for Ryu in Smash Bros. But K. Rool is authentic in a different way, in a more tonal way, where you don't know what it feels like to play K. Rool because you've never done it. Outside of like a baseball game. So when you play as K. Rool in Smash Bros, it's at the same time completely foreign and alien and new and familiar and really cozy. It's amazing how well they nailed it. Because there are some new characters in this game. I guess we can go into this later, but like there's some characters in this game that I kind of don't think they nailed as well. K. Rool is not one of them. K. Rool is a huge success in terms of character design. Yeah,
judging from some of the fan artwork I've seen, I think a lot of people are thinking about nailing K. Rool.
Yeah.
It's a thing. It's a thing now. It's
got that big boy boom. Everyone loves a big boy.
Everybody likes to be cuddled by girth, apparently. So the thing about K. Rool is that it's a problem that we've had, I've had. I'm lumping you in as we here. So pardon the assumption, Mitchell. But when Smash Brothers was new, like a dewy newborn, dripping with placenta, Donkey Kong was kind of very rudimentary. It was before they really, really layered in fan service to these characters. So when Smash was a new thing, Donkey Kong was just a big gorilla. And he had the hand slap from Donkey Kong Country, but not much else. Everything else was kind of just made up bullshit. And bullshit that we've come to love and associate with the character. Like the giant punch, the spinning Kong. It's all part and parcel with the Donkey Kong experience broadly now. But, it's not really from the games. And as the series progressed, we would see all of these characters added to it that would be dripping with fan service. And there was always this little bit of jealousy, just a little bit, where we're like, oh, that would have been nice to have for our character, but whatever. And you got some of it with Diddy. He had the peanut pop guns, he had the jetpack, but, whatever.
Yeah, I mean...
K. Rool.
Yeah.
K. Rool is just everything about... And I'm not even talking about the big stuff. I'm not even talking about how every single move is cultivated from the Donkey Kong series. And nearly every appearance that K. Rool has ever made is referenced. Not just that, but just his personality and the way he walks. down to the very, very minute detail, everything just screams, oh, we completely understand K. Rool's character. You know K. Rool, how you fans have been talking about him for years to each other. Yeah, we completely get it. We know how you see him. Here, is this it? I was like, oh yeah, actually it is. That's exactly how we've always viewed K. Rool. And just stuff that's never even been out in the open outside of the Donkey Kong fan community. The way K. Rool is both fierce, but also just a complete fucking weirdo. How he's just this insane fellow with severe psychological issues. Yeah, that's all in the game. Just in his moveset, just in the way, his mannerisms, his taunts, his weird little finger curls as he's waiting for somebody to approach him. Holy shit, like this is... Even moving him, even controlling him back and forth, walking around with K. Rool feels exactly like walking around with K. Rool would be. Like, the only time he's been playable in the past has been Mario Super Sluggers and Donkey Kong Barrel Blast. And Donkey Kong Barrel Blast barely counts because you're in these bongo jets. So you're only really controlling his hands as he's banging back and forth, panning. But this is exactly how a playable K. Rool should feel. And I mean, that is just... You wouldn't think that would be a hard thing to nail, but it is a hard thing to nail when you're translating a character to a fighting game. This is the most fun I think I've had playing Smash Brothers ever. Just getting to control K. Rool for truly the first time in a non-sporting context. And wow, I'm blown away the amount of love put into this character, because I didn't think there was this much love to be had for this character. Even the context of how he got into the game, it really, you had to wonder, okay, are they just doing this because he won the ballot? Yeah, but they went above and beyond. It wasn't just, okay, we'll put K. Rool in the game and it's just there to shut us up. They went the extra mile for this, the crocodile mile, if you will.
Yeah, Dylan Sprouse, who you may know as Zack from The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody,
of course,
was tweeting about how the characters in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate that are originally from the 64 game all kind of feel like their movesets are more just made up for the sake of having a moveset, while a lot of the new characters are a lot more specific and grounded to their origins. Which is what you were just thinking. You and Dylan Sprouse have a lot of similarities, really. But
we both like being on deck.
Yeah, sure. And Mario, look at Mario specifically. He's Mario. He's Nintendo's king. But look at how he works in Smash. He's just some weird fire. He's like a monk with control of the element fire. Which is, if you look at a modern Mario game, what are you even drawing from? I get kind of where it's coming from, a lot of his physical moves from Mario 64, but it's just so weird in context now. The fire flowers don't even exist in Odyssey. But move to K. Rool. K. Rool is strong, wild garbage, and it's amazing. He's extremely fun to play as. He's extremely annoying to play against. Which
I wouldn't know anything about that.
You would never know anything about playing against K. Rool?
No, just when he beat me the first time, but I got over that, and now I mostly just play as him, so...
So one of K. Rool's biggest assets is his super armor, where just for most of his moves, a good amount of his moves, if you hit him in the stomach, you're not even during his counter... he won't flinch at all. You won't send him any knockback. You'll give him some damage, the damage counter will go up, but you won't send him flying or send him falling over. He's got super armor. So figuring out how to hit K. Rool, even just how, it's like solving a pirate's riddle. You need to follow the line and find the X on the back of K. Rool when he's not looking, when he's not doing a move that would specifically hurt you. It's hard. He's really good. And of course, because he's got that kind of invincibility, he's got that risk-reward system of like, yeah, I can go in there and I can just sponge that damage. I can take that damage, but then I'll be really high damage and like be easier to launch. But for now, I'm living for the moment, Hyle. I'm just going to go in and not get killed by that thing. And I'm just going to go in and smash attack them and not care at all because I am K. Rool and I am strong, wild garbage. And I deserve to be here more than you.
By the way, quick, before I forget about it, Cameron in the live stream chat has a quick correction for us. Says that K. Rool was playable in King of Swing, albeit in the sub games. Forgot about that. So sorry.
Yeah.
I hope all of the points I made haven't just been invalidated. But wild garbage. I think sums up K. Rool's entire moveset, actually.
Yeah.
He's erratic, but he's powerful. But I mean, that's just so true to K. Rool itself. And I was thinking about this, and why do they nail K. Rool so perfectly? And I think it's because he's had so few appearances that everything we've drawn from him as fans has been from these appearances, so there was less room for error for the developers to do the same. And it might be love, it might be research, but it's also just we drew the same connections that they drew, so it was kind of perfect. Actually, K. Rool might be the best choice as a Smash newcomer because he has just the right amount of appearances where you can build something amazing out of without excluding anything and without muddying it up, like, say, a Mario who's been portrayed every possible way throughout the decades. And so you're never going to please everybody with a moveset like for Mario. But K. Rool, yeah, this is what you would do. It's perfect.
Yeah,
it's perfect.
It is perfect.
A lot of people are saying he's OP. A lot of people are decrying him, but I say they're haters.
No. Don't worry about it. No one's saying he's OP.
No. I take that as a compliment. Oh, you mean K. Rool's OP? Just means he's the most awesome. Just who cares? Who cares?
No, I'm just saying, don't count on that lasting for too long, or even until now. He's middle. He's middle tier. There are ways around K. Rool. Fairly consistent.
There are ways around every character. My argument is these characters are but tools, and the wily craftsman does not blame his tool for shoddy workmanship.
I don't know if that's fair. Like in Smash 4, go back to Smash 4 right now and play against a good Bayonetta. There's not always a way around every character.
You've never seen the shitty cabinets I've tried to build, Mitchell.
Okay.
The adage adds up.
Yeah, you're okay. No, characters are like tools. If in real life you're really bad with tools, I am. I think that's a fair comparison, actually.
They call me Tim the Fool Man, Taylor.
You know, Hyle.
Mitchell.
Sakurai put out a Famitsu article after the game came out, where
did
he did, and he does it often. I think he just does it like every 2 weeks, no matter what. Even when there's no new Smash game coming out, he's like a regular
Even with
columnist.
his broken hands, does he get somebody to dictate it for him?
No, he types with his feet. He's very resourceful. But in this one column after the game came out, he went over the 6 main newcomers that aren't Echoes, and also Piranha Plant, and just talked about how, like, what was the deciding factor, what was the mindset that he went through when adding each of those characters. And he went into detail about how, like, K. Rool is a fan favorite, Ridley was a fan favorite, Simon Belmont and Inkling are both really important, Isabelle was something that they felt they can do, Incineroar was like they needed to represent that generation of Pokemon, but they also wanted to use that opportunity to put a new style of fighter into the game that they haven't done before, like a grappler. And Piranha Plant was, in order to make the balance of the roster shifted away from All-Stars. And from my perspective, before this game got rolling and announced all the characters it announced, If you told me that the focus of a new roster was to shift the balance away from All-Stars, I would get a little bit mad at you. I would say, wait, don't do that. We have so many more protagonists of series that we haven't gotten around to. We need to get Isaac from Golden Sun. He's been waiting. We need to get a new ARMS character and probably the mascot of that game, Springman. We need to get Inkling from Splatoon. We need to get all of these characters. But you know what? I've come around. I've done a little bit of a 180, I think, in the way I feel about rosters. And part of that is because of K-Rool, and part of that is also because of other characters in this game that have gotten a lot of focus, like Incineroar. And it's just made me feel like, there is a very strong, good reason to have other kinds of characters outside of just what logically should come next. Who's the big villain or the big main character of remaining series? What logically should come next? You need some of that, but there's really it's a good reason. It's a good reason to have Piranha Plant in the game. I think I've when I first saw Piranha Plant, I'm sure most people felt, I felt a little bit Piranha Plant, I get that people know what that is, but there's so many other Nintendo things that we haven't gotten around to yet, and Piranha Plant is such an esoteric, almost a waste, and now it makes sense to me because of the way K-Rool is. Not that K-Rool isn't the next logical choice for Smash, but because of his role in the game is very specific. He is this similar to Wario, kind of just this big, ambitiously fat person who just has this insane bravado and level of comedy about him, in addition to just being an all-star Nintendo character, but just has this way about him that...
He's an all-star Nintendo character now. This has put him over that line. I think you could make the argument 6 months ago he would not be an all-star Nintendo character, despite our own protest.
Well, he wasn't an all-star current Nintendo character, but I think we did argue in the past that K-Rool was historically important. But that's neither here nor there. What I'm just trying to say is the personalities of the new characters that they've put in this game, especially in some of the base game for 4 and some of the base game for Ultimate. Not the DLC for 4. Don't worry. Don't remember the DLC. It was a hard time. Just made the roster feel so diverse and so nice and welcoming. And I think K-Rool is a big part of that. And Incineroar is to me, I am a big Pokemon fan. You know this about me. And
never knew that before. That's just news to me.
I liked the
I did not open up your glove compartment in your car at E3 to have a bunch of Pokemon cards fall out.
Look, there's 3 things you got to know about me. I like jazz and hip hop. That's number 1. Number 2 is I'm average height. Not too tall, not too short. Number 3 is I always have Pokemon cards in my car. Those are the 3 tenets of Mitchell's personality. But what I was saying is when they announced Incineroar, I was upset, not just because it deconfirmed the Grinch leak, which would have been really nice to have. Yeah, I was upset because Incineroar was just he's this kind of... He's not near the top of the most popular Pokemon from this latest generation of Pokemon. Maybe he's near the top, but he's number 7 or 8 of the top ones. There are more popular, more iconic, more important Pokemon to choose from this generation. And they didn't, and I thought that was a little upsetting or unnerving. But now that I see him in the game and see what he brings to the roster in terms of diversity, I'm just really happy with it. And I just wanted to say I want more, I guess, less important characters. That sounds weird to say, but when Melee happened, we didn't even have Wario and Charizard yet. And obviously Diddy Kong was like the one from our community, but just like even if you don't want to like deal with the fact of like, well, do I just want Diddy Kong or is it like a real thing? You can pretty objectively say like, okay, Wario and Charizard though are like some of the most known video game characters of all time. And then in Brawl, that came out and you still had things missing like, okay, but Mega Man should probably be there if we're doing third-party characters. And we're missing Little Mac, who's this like classic Nintendo all-star that probably should be there. And we don't have any Animal Crossing representation. And there were always these clear absences that were a big deal. And we finally got to a point where there's still big absences. Like Dixie's not there. Waluigi's a very popular choice right now. Banjo-Kazooie, of course. I mean, that's a third party, so it's a little bit different, but still, yeah, definitely. We're now at a point though where like the things that are missing are understandable. So I feel just more comfortable saying, well, do you want to talk about Joker right now? Because like we I don't think we did the discussion of Joker as DLC.
You know what? Why don't we wait until after the calls to talk about Joker? Because I have a feeling some calls are about the Joker. That's just because half of the calls came from Jared Leto this week, and I have a feeling it's going to be super annoying with him in character. So
we'll talk about that later. I'm just saying I'm going about this too long. I'm trying to say I like the new approach to the roster. I'm not as annoyed nearly at all as I've been at the reveal of pretty much every roster since Melee.
It's amazing what K. Rool did for me, because K. Rool, it was really what I needed. And it wasn't even like it was with Diddy and Brawl, where I got Diddy and Brawl, and then immediately I started to think, well, okay, but we could get K. Rool in there, or we could get Dixie, or Banjo-Kazooie, or... You know what? 3 characters, while it's still criminally underserved compared to what we could have and who deserves to be in a game, like Dixie, it still feels so much more well-rounded. For Donkey Kong, we have got the main protagonist, we have got the secondary protagonist, and we've got the main antagonist. Really, it feels so fleshed out that I'm no longer concerned. And I feel like I am well represented with my taste in this game. As much as I want Dixie in there, as much as I want, say, Banjo-Kazooie for, represent the spin-off, but whatever. I feel like, okay, I got K. Rool, and K. Rool seemed like such a big get, such an impossibility at the time that, whatever, yeah, throw Piranha Plant in there, who cares? Like, at this point, it's good. It's good. We've got so many all-stars in there now. Simon Belmont, great. Like, I've been advocating for Simon for years. I do wish he had more of the Lothario personality that he had in Captain N, the Game Master, rather than just being like Thor with a chain, but whatever, it's Simon Belmont. I got him. And Ridley, I'm so happy for the fans who wanted Ridley. It's just, you're right. Like, we got so many of those boxes finally ticked off that, let's get a little weird with it, because Smash is still the kingmaker. So, put a Piranha Plant in it. It might seem weird now, but guess what? Boom, this Piranha Plant is now one of the most important Nintendo characters ever, because Sakurai has deemed it so. That's where we are with Smash Brothers. And as much as I detested that back in the Smash 4 era, I'm kind of over it, because this game is so good that it feels warranted for a change.
It does. Like, it definitely feels like we've like in the past, when you did something weird, it was at the expense of something that was definitely pertinent and in line. Like last game, we got Palutena, who in retrospect is just kind of a really esoteric, specific callback from a very small Nintendo series. Like, really, we're doing Palutena? That series is already represented, and it's like way too small. Oh, you know what? Fine, yeah, do it. And that felt like instead of Ridley, or instead of K. Rool, or instead of something else that could definitely have used the attention. But now, I feel like we're really narrowing down, like, how many really. Let's be honest with yourselves. I was talking about this with Jeff over. I slid in his DMs and I asked him some Smash questions the other day, and I came to the conclusion that there's like really with characters that don't rely on games that have not yet come out yet. How many first-party Nintendo characters are still like of the level of Smash that we haven't come up with? And I came up with like 7 tops.
Yeah.
We're really getting down to the point where, I mean, there's always going to be something else that we can take from, and there's always going to be something that's missing. But it's not a wealth of missing characters anymore. It's like a handful. It's just a few, and
exactly, yeah.
That's why like adding Piranha Plant and just getting kind of strange with the picks is I think it's fine at this point.
You know, it's so weird to me because I cannot even imagine a Smash game after this. It really does feel like the ultimate Smash, the conclusion. And I know there will be. I'm not an idiot. I know there will be. But at this point, I don't even want to, like, speculate or fantasize about it. Like, this is enough for me. Just like, let this be the eternal flame for which Smash can shine brightly into the future. I don't know. I would be worried about messing up the formula again. We finally perfected it in my mind. Let's just have this. Let's have this, everybody. Everybody, let's just agree that this is it. This is it. We'll get 4 more to be revealed DLC fighters, and that's it. That's it. But yeah, I know that's not the case. But right now, I just can't fathom. The only issues I would have would be, I wish more stages were in it. And I know that's ridiculous considering how many stages are in this. But like
over 100 stages.
I do wish, say, the returns stage from Smash 4 was back, just because it'd be so much fun to run around as K. Rool on that. You know, there are a few stages I miss in this game, and I wish there were a couple more new stages too. But that's just such a minor gripe. Like I said, everything I have, the gripes are so minor in comparison to what they were for Smash 4 that I'm not even gonna bother with them. Yeah, I wish Dixie was in it, but it's not keeping me up at night. It's not hindering my enjoyment when I play the game. It's just a minor little. If I was master and ruler of the universe, then I would deem it so. But I'm not. So I don't care. I'm going to move on. I'm going to move on with my life, and I'm going to enjoy Smash Brothers Ultimate the way it is. I don't know. Classic mode. Let's talk a little bit about classic mode, because good lord, I hated everything Smash 4 did with the single player and all of the modes and the like. It was just a complete horrific tragedy, on par with the greatest tragedies of humankind. And this is perfect. This is a nice little compromise. This is. I like that each character has their own little spin on this.
Yeah.
That was nice. That was the surprise. Smash
4's take on classic mode was barely a classic mode at all. It was just
It was barely a mode at all.
Yeah.
It was basically
just move your character from like one random assortment of characters that you need to fight all at once, or a different one.
Yeah, it wasn't a mode so much as the video game equivalent of a piece of software having an epileptic seizure. That's all. Like, it wasn't even anything firmly like concrete or planned or designed. It was just, I don't know. We're gonna have some stuff happen to you. Fingers crossed. And
Force Classic Mode was made out of chaos and bullshit. And it was the Ludo equivalent of just like some butt sweat kind of like staining your computer chair. And I feel
Do you not wear pants in your computer chair? Like, what? Where is this anus sweat coming from?
Well, I can't have the fan on while I record a podcast. So it's just kind of on my mind right now, Hyle. I would appreciate you act as a friend and you didn't call me out on it. But what I'm trying to say is that it was bad and it's better now.
I'm sorry, I forgot you were in Southern California near Los Angeles and not here where it's 20 degrees outside.
This room will always get hot no matter what. I have no idea. It's like in some weird Bermuda Triangle of temperatures, and it's not worth existing here, but it is where I am. Anyway, Ultimate's classic modes are really good. They're all set like groups of fighters you need to go against, and they all have some little theme. Jigglypuff's was a favorite of mine, where Jigglypuff's classic mode is a recreation of the classic mode in Smash 64. Just like exactly how it was on the same stages that those characters were on in Smash 64, in order. And like the boss is giant Donkey Kong. So that's just how it was. And Mega Man's is just the entire plot of Mega Man 2. It's the whole thing. It's the whole plot. It's so clever.
Yeah, and I liked Donkey Kong's. Donkey Kong's was Journey to New Donk City, which you start off on Donkey Kong Island in the Congo jungle. You fight familiar characters, and then you progress, and you eventually fight Mario in Big Ape City before Master Hand shows up. Which I liked. That was nice. K. Rool is just K. Rool versus the fat asses. Which
yeah, some of them are a little
undercooked. Yeah. But whatever.
Bowser is fighting against every red character because he doesn't like Mario, and Mario is red. So he's like, well, I'm gonna extrapolate this to any red stuff.
Yeah, he's like a bull, except that's not even true for bulls. Some of them are undercooked, but you can't expect all of them out of all 60-some characters to be winners. I did appreciate that they're all different. They're all unique. They all make you want to experience classic mode with a character. And when you have this voluminous amount of characters, that is important. It becomes more than just this horrific chore for mad completionists. It actually is kind of a fun sense of discovery, which it's one of the best things about Smash is you're constantly unlocking something. You're constantly turning a corner. You're constantly getting something or seeing something new. That was the joy of Melee, and that's kind of been replicated here. I would argue for the first time since Melee. But
yeah, there was some there's some feeling of like maybe apprehension or excitement of, oh, who's this boss gonna be? And I'm not gonna go over the specific bosses because I guess we'll talk about that in the World of Light episode. Because bosses are a big part of that. They are shared with the classic mode. But just like wondering how any of the bosses are going to factor into a character's story or theme is really cool. Yeah. And there's some classic modes that I actually don't understand the theme of. If anyone out there can tell me what like the significance of Wario's is, I would appreciate it, because I did it and I don't get it. I don't think Smash Brothers has ever actually understood the significance of Wario for anything. Yeah. But Wario's classic mode is called I'm a gonna win, and it's just like as far as I can tell, it's just against some other characters. Like I don't know what the cohesive thread is there. I know there's an Incineroar at one point, and I think there's a Zero Suit Samus. I don't know what that means.
Yeah, I don't think they've ever even bothered with Wario. It's a miracle that Wario's classic suit is even in there as an alt, considering he's a biker in the game. Like, it just... I don't know. Wario is just this weird ass fetishist. Not Ash, the Pokemon character from the anime, but no, he's an ass fetishist who likes flaunting it and farting it and sticking things in it, I presume. And that's the extent of Wario's characters. And he has a motorcycle. Like, Smash is just this weird take. When we talk about fan service, Wario is the opposite end of that, where it goes horribly wrong. But that's Brawl's cross to bear. Yeah. It's not Ultimate. Ultimate at this point is just continuing the sins of its ancestors.
I actually like that Wario has his WarioWare costume instead of his Wario Land costume as his default. I think it makes him seem a lot more unique. But like everything about his moveset, if he was from Smash 4 or Ultimate instead of Brawl, his moveset would be so much more specific to his stuff. Like, it would be somehow based on micro games. Like, if that makes any sense. I don't know what that would look like, but like it would be. It would just have something to do with that in the game. And instead, it's just like he had a motorcycle in one little section of like the first WarioWare game, like one cinematic at the beginning, and that's what his whole moveset is kind of revolved around right now. And biting people, like, where is that from? Wario has never just gone around biting people. That's not a thing for him. That's not like one of his activities.
I know, like the complete and utter deviant they turned Wario into in this series.
In Subspace Emissary, where he shoots Ness straight in the face with a gun that makes him just a corpse, but doesn't kill him. And grabs his face with his hand and grabs Ness's face, brings it close to his face, and just screams laughing into Ness's dead, lifeless eyes as Lucas runs away crying is an insane thing that Nintendo actually did. Not even recently, 10 years ago. That's a real thing they did. And I don't know if like you can return Wario from that. I feel like that has impacted Wario's character so much just from Smash, not even from his own games.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah. I'm not gonna lose again any sleep over Wario's portrayal, but it is funny that like they can nail characters like K. Rool and then Wario happens like again 10 years ago, so it's nothing new. It's just the contrast, viewing it in the light of Ultimate and within Ultimate. It's weird. But anyway, so we're not going to be talking about World of Light. Oh, by the way, I've only beat Classic Mode with Donkey Kong and K. Rool thus far. I haven't talked about Diddy much during this, and that's because my long, obsessive grind has so far not unlocked Diddy. The last character I have unlocked is Luigi, so I now have the original 12 unlocked.
Okay.
But Diddy is still out of reach. So,
can I guess the last character you're gonna unlock?
Yeah.
I think the last character you will unlock is Palutena.
Really?
It seemed... I don't think there should be a character that you're definitely gonna unlock last, because it... like, you could do a different classic mode and get a weird different order of characters, or you could start World of Light and get a different order of characters. But a lot of people I've talked to, no matter what they've done, have actually unlocked Palutena last. That she was also my last character to unlock.
See, I guessed that it was going to be Pichu, because I thought that would just be a weird little Sakurai, like, fuck you, that it would be Pichu would be the last. I don't know why. I just thought. But yeah, okay, Palutena, so sure. Now, I have unlocked Pokemon Trainer and Meta Knight out of the grind order, because that's who I got. A Pokemon Trainer from playing as Donkey Kong in Classic Mode, Meta Knight from playing as K. Rool in Classic Mode. So I got them, I guess, earlier than the grind would have allowed for. So
Pokemon Trainer's so good. I love it. It's so great.
It's worth pointing out too that I have not been beaten by the challengers, the new challengers after K. Rool. So I remain undefeated, except for the blemish against K. Rool. So if I'm going to lose to anybody, I'm glad it was him. But
it's a notable blemish.
Yeah. All right. So we're not going to be talking about World of Light on this episode. That is going to be part 2. That's going to be the whole enchilada plus anything we forgot to bring up on this episode. But we need to discuss spirits, because that is a fundamental new aspect of Smash Brothers. And I was a little undecided about spirits initially when they got into it before, because I'm a trophy man, Mitchell. I like my trophies. Trophies were one of the best things in Melee. That sense of discovery, learning about Nintendo history within the game itself. And it's always been, every Smash cycle since Melee has always been what trophies you're going to get. We got a lot of good trophies for the Donkey Kong series in Brawl. Got a lot in 4 too, across both 3DS and Wii U. But by the time 4 came out, even getting trophies wasn't much fun anymore. It just felt like a slog, and it felt, oh god, okay, yeah, okay, oh, this trophy's for sale in the shop, I guess I'll buy that, I don't know, oh look, I'm gonna buy Candy Kong, woo, Candy Kong, I bought her at the shop.
It's sad to see them gone, but like, it was clearly not sustainable. It wasn't. Yeah.
And
you can't, I'm not gonna get that mad about it, but it's, it's definitely disappointing to not see them anymore.
I also didn't really care for the fact that spirits were not new character models. They were just essentially PNGs ripped from online of character artwork throughout the years with little sparkly effects added to them. No, this isn't just character artwork from the DK Vine gallery. They're spirits. They're the souls of the characters. Woo!
There are actually some spirits in the game that people have looked at the like minor differences in how they're pixelated and the resolutions, and they've found that they've come not from official sources but like from online galleries, specifically some of the Mother 3 ones. I wonder if you can prove that any of the DK ones are from DK Vine, because it seems not unlikely.
That is the goal, because Google image search will bring them up as one of the first options. So fingers crossed that our unnecessarily high-resolution character artwork has been made canon, especially one of Matt's forgeries that where he would up the resolution by on not official, like things that didn't get official renders, so he would turn in-game models into pseudo renders. Oh, that would be a joy. Anyway, yeah, so spirits. I have not really gotten my dick wet, so to speak, in unnecessary vulgarities.
No, I mean you gotta say it like that. If that's how you're gonna say it, that's how you gotta say it.
When you're approaching the 2-hour mark of a podcast, things get a little loose, my friends. So apologies for getting blue. I've done a couple spirit battles. I've unlocked some spirits, bought some spirits that have struck in my fancy, but I've not really like delved too much into that. I think once I get all of the characters unlocked, and I'm 2/3 of the way there with my grind, I think then I'll really start focusing on stuff like spirits. But what do you think, Mitchell? Because you've certainly spent more time with this than I have.
Yeah, there are around 1,300 spirits in the game.
Yeah,
at the moment, and I have gotten somewhere over 900 of them. So,
damn.
Yeah, I know. I'm a feisty little go-getter, but really, okay. I understood not being able to do trophies forever because making those new character models is so hard. Making those new character models is so expensive for what it is. And people often just ignore that aspect of the game because it doesn't even cycle back into the main game at all. Once you get a trophy, it's just done. So I thought it was fine that they're PNGs. That as a difference between regular trophies and spirits, it's obviously less valuable to me to collect them as items to have and to look at, but still it's fine, because the idea of using them in a way that circles back around and affects some aspect of gameplay is cool to me. I don't just unlock Dixie Kong and then just have her in the gallery and never look at her. I sometimes use her. I use other aspects of the game. I use other characters, and I use them to unlock more spirits. And if I go through classic mode, or I surreptitiously do some unlock some challenge. And there's like a challengers window, or not challengers, sorry, challenges, like board, which is basically achievements. A bunch of those and classic modes, they all unlock spirits. So every aspect of the game is united in like pushing you toward spirits and having spirits and maintaining them and collecting them. And it gives the various aspects of the game, like all the different modes and forms that the game can take, a sense of unity, where before it just felt like if you get a trophy for something, it's not like that brings it, whatever you just did, closer to the trophy mode of the game. It's not like that. But now, if you get a spirit for something, that'll bring you closer to spirits mode, and then like the work you do there can train you to be better in Smash mode, which is basically what makes up classic mode, which you can do to get spirits. So like it's this whole ecosystem that I really like. And the battles themselves, the spirit battles, the fact that there I think are specific event battles, like an event match from earlier games in the series, for all or almost all 1,300 spirits, is amazing. That's so much content. That's so much specifically designed content, where like a lot of these battles are pretty clever. Some aren't. Some are pretty dumb, but some are cool. And they reflect the character that they are. Like there was one like a spirit battle against Gengar. I remember, this is just the one that's coming to mind for some reason, where it was a purple Donkey Kong representing Gengar. Sometimes he would turn invisible, and the floor was made out of poison, representing the fact that Gengar is both a ghost type Pokemon and a poison type Pokemon, which is cool. That's like a cool little thing that it doesn't tell you anything about that character, where previous trophies did. Previous trophies did like have descriptions to specifically say, this character is from this game, and here's what they did in it. Can you believe it? you have to say, yeah, Smash Bros. I can believe it, because sometimes they weren't written that well.
Right.
And now it's like less concrete facts, but more of a tonal understanding of the character. Like, this is their gist. The one aspect of spirits that I'm really not on is like, would like 3-sentence blurbs about each of these spirits really have been that hard? I know making the character models was extremely hard, but I didn't think the writing would be that hard. You know? Like, why can't I look at a spirit on the spirit list? The only information it gives me about the character is the name and the series it's from. It doesn't even say like what specific game it's from, just the series.
It's frustrating.
It is frustrating, even if like the amount of information they had was minimized from the 3 or 4 sentences we had in Melee down to 1 sentence. Just say, this is Chrome's little sister, because I'm not going to memorize who all of these Fire Emblem women are from just like the various like princesses and noble women of
but
Arcadia.
You'll remember
or whatever.
the Fire. You'll remember the Fire Emblem men, though. Is that what you're saying?
Honestly, there was a spirit that was, I think it was Cord, Board, and Barst, and it was three adult burly men with axes, and they helped me just do some stuff. And they're my adult sons now, and they and I have really made some great strides in understanding each other and the world, because that's who they are. And they were represented by a bunch of Simon Belmonts that threw a bunch of axes around, because they use axes in Fire Emblem. And that was a little bit more memorable than, like, I swear, it's just the main character's little sister every time with these Fire Emblem women. Like, every time.
Yeah, I would love a blur, because again, the best part of the trophies, even more so than seeing your own characters and items and themes and series and favorites represented was the history lesson, learning stuff you didn't know, and becoming more well-rounded in your knowledge base as a gamer. Like, that was the cool thing about Melee, the stealth education you got.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at some of these stickers I've unlocked, and I'm like, oh, okay, you're from Wave Race. That's cool. Like, but what makes you tick? Or, oh, I got this Zelda's spirit. I almost call them stickers. Apologies if I call them stickers, because I keep thinking of them as stickers, because essentially they're stickers. But a lot better than stickers. But then I see, oh, you're from Zelda, but what Zelda game are you from? Well, you have hand-drawn art, so probably from one of the first ones, but I don't know.
Yeah. There's been some, like, defense of them not having any blurbs with the idea of, well, you don't need them now because you can just look them up on the internet, and technically that's true, but I just don't think that holds any water. I don't think that holds any water when you have 1,300 static images of things that don't call out to you immediately like some character models would, maybe. I think it would be so much better just to have some little thing, some aspect of a character where it's basically like, hey, here's one little, like, note about them, be it mysterious or cool or cute or just descriptive, because that can help you get excited about something. If I'm not going to get a spirit for, like, there was a spirit from a series called Let's Count Numbers or something like that. I've never heard of Let's Count Numbers. But I also don't have the drive to look that up. Whereas if you said, this guy counts really good, I mean, that's a bad example, but if you said this guy counts really good, I guess maybe I would be more likely to look into it.
Here's the thing, Mitchell. Here is the thing. The thing that is to be had.
What's the thing, Hyle?
I'm not going to remember to look this stuff up because there's so much stuff happening in Smash. Oh, I unlocked this character. I want to know more about this character.
Well, it's not just remembering. It's like having the drive to do it. Why would you? I mean, you're not convinced.
If I had an Amazon Echo, I could say, hey, look up this character for me. But then, I don't know, it would give my credit card information to somebody over there in Moscow. And I've had enough problems with the Russians the past 2 years with DK Vine to really, really even put myself in danger like that. So I'm not going to do that. It's a small blemish, and it's frustrating as somebody who wants to learn about these characters, as somebody who gets off on lore, be it my own or somebody else's. But I'm not gonna let that ruin the overall package, because everything else about this, including the spirit battles, yeah, you're right. It's so well done. It's so united. They could have called this Super Smash Brothers United. And despite it sounding like a football club in the UK, it would have been just as good of a name as Ultimate. I really do like the spirit battles. I haven't done too much in the way. When they had the glasses wearers event the other couple days, I did engage in some of those. I see they have a Fire Emblem one happening as this episode will go live for everybody. Less enthused about that than the glasses wearers, but I unlocked somebody from a spirit from Rhythm Heaven during that event, and so I guess that was Mamechi still having his way with me long after his complete thumping of me at E3. But so I mean, I'm enjoying it. I can't wait to really, really sink my teeth into it. I don't know how you have the time, my friend. It's kind of staggering how you've had so much time to do basically everything with this game.
While I'm just a beautiful keep pace. A beautiful little status of life I call near complete unemployment, and it's really great. It allows for a lot of things.
You make it sound so glamorous, and I long for that. I think we should all aspire to it this holiday season.
You should. Man, don't just aspire to it. Lose that job. You can get there.
You know who really has it made, Mitchell? The homeless. Because
Yeah,
not
you're
only
right.
don't they have to worry about jobs, they don't have to worry about, I don't know,
Much.
mortgage payments. Yeah.
Yeah. And Nintendo decided to make the Switch portable just for them. Like, I love it. They're living it. They're living that life.
They're living the dream. But they've got so many spirits unlocked, the homeless do. It's not an epidemic. No. It's a blessing.
It's true.
Yeah. We have some calls to take.
Okay.
We have some, and we didn't get as many as I feared we would. Remember the Rool episode that you were not a part of? You remember that episode? Wow, we did not get as many calls. So I have a feeling Smash will be a constant source of discussion for the rest of the year going into the Kongversation Season 7. But yeah, we only got 4 calls. So I'm going to play the first one and we'll discuss what they have to say. That's usually the way this goes. And so it shall be again.
How you doing, fellas? It's your man Smash from Twitter. Tremendous work y'all doing. Tremendous. I just want y'all to know that. Listen, real quick with the Smash. Listen, I hear a lot of things about Rool being OP, and I keep telling people, listen, he's the king. The fuck you gonna do about it? He's the king. There's nothing to do about it. Really, I'm happy. I'm happy Rool's in. But listen, real quick, we got to discuss these fighters, man. These 5 fighters. Joker got in, which fucked me up. But fuck it, there's still a chance for Banjo. Alright? There's still a chance for Banjo. Reggie said that that all the DLC's gonna be third party, so fuck it, bro. Banjo, Minecraft, Steve, man. That's it. That's all I can say, bro. DK, I love the way he plays. I wish I could get it that Diddy. Can't do it. But anyway, man, it's bananas. What's going on? I love Smash Ultimate. Throw down your friend code. I want to battle y'all so bad. I really do. It's just crazy, man. Let's break banana bread. Keep doing what y'all doing. Stay up. This is man Smash. Out.
Thank you, Smash. What a
thanks,
fortunate
Smash.
name. What a fortunate name you have. I can't believe your parents named you that, and here you are enjoying a game that bears your name.
Well, it's actually short for Smatthew. So.
Oh, yeah. Well, so I mean, it's a common abbreviation though. Like, I'm named Hyle, so there's really not much I can play that I would enjoy.
Yeah.
It's mostly Nazi shit, so I have to just stay away.
Well, Hyle is short for Hyle Coyote, so
I do enjoy me a coyote or two. I have to say, it is something I have partaked in. I don't even know what that means. No. Speaking of banana bread, my wife makes amazing banana bread. Like I really need to share this with you, Mitchell. She's made it twice now, and she made it when we went into the mountains last week.
Ooh.
And oh my god, it's the best food I've ever had. I could live off of this if it wouldn't kill me due to lack of nutrients. It's just I want to share this banana bread. It should be a patron reward for our patrons.
Banana bread is like some of the only banana food I can eat. So I'm into that. That sounds great.
Because you hate bananas, because that is a disagreement we have.
Yeah, part of it is the texture and just like raw flavor of them, and then bread, the texture is gone and the flavor is changed. So there's going to be like some weirdness, but I definitely appreciate that it is a good tasting food, and I agree with its existence, which is more than I can say about regular old bananas.
What do you think about the banana gun?
Oh, it's so funny. I like the banana gun. I think it's
the first time I really experienced the banana gun in all of its glory was playing it with my brother-in-law, and it was so funny seeing Donkey Kong whip out this banana, squirt it out, and it just annihilating Link. Like, laughter was to be had among the extended wife family.
Much like how Diddy's jetpack came back just for every instance of Diddy's showing up for a while. I wonder if the banana gun could make an appearance in a mainline Donkey Kong game.
The difference there, though, is the banana gun is an item anybody can use, and it's not just married to the Kongs themselves. So
no, I know. I'm just saying I could see it. I could see it happening.
Yeah, but then we also have the coconut gun, so it would feel like, what are you doing here?
Look, we got a lot of guns.
There's a lot of guns, weirdly enough, in the Donkey Kong series. But anyway, yeah, so thank you for the call, Smash. Actually, I believe Smash called in a second time, so before we address anything else he wants to talk about, like Dixie or the Joker, we should probably hear what he has to say here.
Also, guys, Smash again. Sorry, I gotta say this. I just remembered. Man, I think it's fucked up what they did to Dixie. I do. I'm not tight more so that she's a spirit. I'm not. At least she's in the fucking game. I mean, it was inevitable, but, you know, I think it's fucked up that she got paired up with that little fuck Diddy Kong. I mean, not Diddy. Fucking Dinky Kong, with that little bastard, Kitty Kong. Fuck that dude, bro. That ugly motherfucker, bro. I don't like that dude. I don't like him. Talking shit, and I have yet to play DKC3. I just don't like him, man. He got his own game. He was in her game. I know. Jesus Christ, though, man. I don't like it. I just don't. But I just started upgrading my spirits and everything. I got Groudon, upgraded to Primal Groudon, and I'm like, there's only one stage, and after that, that's it. So that means Dixie is gonna be paired up with that little fuck forever? No! Jesus Christ. I just hope in the next Smash game she'll be a playable character, man. But at least we got K. Rool, you know what I'm saying? Hopefully we can get a new DKC game with K. Rool and Dixie, you know, or a new Donkey Kong 64 game that has Dixie in it. Honestly, man. With more animal bites, I'm serious. This is a new revolution. This is a new coming. This is the third wave of the Kremlin, of the Donkey Kong universe. You feel me? We're gonna get Banjo remade, all that jazz. Dude, I'm telling you, man, there's nothing but good things coming from this. Thank you, Daddy Sakurai. Alright, guys. Keep doing what you're doing. Hyle, keep doing what you're doing. Hyle's guys, keep doing what you're doing. And tremendous. Smash up.
Man, I love New Jersey Memechi.
Andre in the live stream chat said he steadfastly refused to believe this isn't Josh putting on a voice. I guess.
Maybe.
I guess drawing connections to his Vince Russo voice in the past. No, thank you, Smash. It's delightful hearing from you. Hearing you for the first time. Actually, I've encountered you on Twitter before, but never in the audible flesh. So thank you. So Dixie. Let's talk a little bit more about Dixie, since it seems to be a point of contention in his two calls. Again, I can't really mind this too much. I've tried to mind it, Josh. I've tried to get irritated by it. I feel for the really Dixie diehards who wanted her in the game, like where Dixie is one of my favorite characters, but I've always viewed Smash inclusion more intellectually than I have emotionally. And Dixie is somebody who is never going to be in danger of ever falling off the face of the earth. Dixie, so long as there are Donkey Kong games being made, Dixie will be there in some form or fashion. She's had fallow periods. Even with Rare, she, kind of faded away. She's always come back. She's always been there in some form. It's taken a couple years, but she got Tropical Freeze. K. Rool was the one who really was in danger.
Yeah.
And was completely shut out of even being acknowledged for a decade. And I think it just meant more to have K. Rool in this game. K. Rool, Donkey Kong's antagonist, it meant more for the Donkey Kong series. One, to have the main villain of the series be cemented. Two, to have the Kremlings return. And now they will never go away again because the Kingmaker has spoken. And three, to show the Donkey Kong series is more than just a bunch of funny gorillas and monkeys making chattering noises. K. Rool has really gone a long way to show people, no, the Donkey Kong series is also this. Isn't this amazing? And so intellectually, I always knew K. Rool would mean more for the long-term series health to have him in. Does Dixie deserve to be in? Absolutely. It's a shame she couldn't make it in this time around, especially even as an Echo. But I still can't hold it against Smash Ultimate because we got K. Rool.
Yeah, the cost of not having K. Rool in Smash would have been K. Rool continues to live in a twilight realm of near forgottenness, where Nintendo has, through their actions, they've kind of made it clear, except for this, that they're not super interested in using him. And they're not particularly, anxious to get him back in the limelight. That was the understanding of our situation with K. Rool. Even with his name showing up in, New Donk City, Espresso's name showed up too, and Espresso's not, in a game. So, we had to just, assume they weren't doing it. And the cost of not having Dixie is almost nothing besides just not having Dixie. So yeah, and unless you were really intent on getting both of them in this game, in which case I would recommend calming down a little bit. I mean, I understand the desiring both, but we can't have that mindset. That's for the Fire Emblem fan base. That's not for us. We need to know our place.
I'll even say this much. If Fire Emblem just got into so many people's pants back and forth, irritating their private bits, not sexually. In a bad way, Fire Emblem got into people's pants, and you look at all the glory that this Fire Emblem fan base, and by that I mean Sakurai and a dozen other people. I'm just casting shade now. Why am I doing it? And we're past this, but you look at everything they got in Smash 4. All of these newcomers, this glut of characters, none of them have meant as much as having K. Rool has meant. And none of them has made the impact that K. Rool has made in his short time in Smash. So I think this is just very much quality over quantity at this point. So I'm glad we got K. Rool. He's got his own little individual spotlight. Dixie isn't even there to take a little bit of that away. As much as Dixie needs to be in Smash, honestly, Dixie should have been in Smash back and 4, or even back in Brawl. Diddy should have been in Melee. It's always been a game of catch up when it comes to Donkey Kong and Smash Brothers. I'm just thankful.
It's true.
I'm just thankful we've got this amazing thing that I honestly thought we would never actually get. My hopes and dreams notwithstanding.
Well, I mean, we're in a really good position right now to take it slow. But not that slow. Not as slow as Donkey Kong in 64, nothing in Melee, Diddy in Brawl, nothing in 4. We're not on that slow, but now we're we have an assist trophy of Crystal. That's huge. We have K. Rool in the base game. I think we can reasonably campaign without getting our expectations way out of sorts for Banjo in the DLC. And then base game, next game, which I know we're talking 6 or 7 years from now, and I know that sucks, but really, one for base game now, one for DLC now, one for base game later for Dixie and the, base game, next game, I could totally see it. That's a really good... that's a really good pace, if not for the Donkey Kong series, at least for the Donkey Kong universe. And I think that's a great place to be. It's a long time coming. It has been a little frustrating watching, you're right. We've talked about it to death with Fire Emblem. They've had so much. But this time, Fire Emblem had a respectable only one Echo as a newcomer, which is, I think that's fine. Totally great. We're in a good position. But I'm sorry about Kiddy Kong. I know people don't like Kiddy Kong. I don't know what to tell you. His design never really offended me as much as it offends some other people, apparently.
Andre,
sure.
by the way, clarified, because I apparently thought it was a pro wrestling reference from the late 90s. No, the reason he thought Smash was Josh Wallen was because of his objection to Kiddy Kong.
Oh, so, yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah. Well, look, I don't have an issue with Kiddy. I like Kiddy for what he is. Kiddy is supposed to be an irritating little shit. That back when we did the Donkey Kong Country 3 Spotlight 2 years ago, that series of episodes, I think that was the point we made. it's called Dixie Kong's Double Trouble, and one of the reasons it's a double trouble is she has to babysit this useless hunk of primate. Kitty is not supposed to be as beloved as Diddy or Dixie, and part of that is because that it was the end. They couldn't have a sidekick that would warrant their own game, their own hero-making quest. At least that's my justification retroactively.
Yeah.
But
and
I
if
like
that
Kitty
rumor about
is.
Donkey Kong 64's roster originally, like way early in development, starting out as Donkey, Diddy, Lanky, and then Dixie instead of Tiny, and Kitty as a grown-up instead of Chunky, if that rumor had any, like, standing to it, I think we would have seen Kitty as an improved character throughout its own arc, which would have been an interesting take on the character. But we didn't get that, so, I mean, I don't have anything against the character, but I also don't have anything, like, super for the character, so I'm fine with you. I'm fine with you not liking him as well. It's all fine to me.
Kitty is a closed storyline as far as I'm concerned. He's Dixie Kong's cousin. She had to babysit him. She used him again when Donkey and Diddy were being dicks to her. The end. He grew up, and I don't know when he became an insurance salesman or something. I don't know.
Piranha Plant is to Smash Brothers as Kitty Kong is to the Kong family. He's not there because he's an all-star. He's there to add to the diversity and to make some of the other all-stars stand out more, and just to make it a little more well-rounded.
Yeah. And yeah, I don't mind Kitty being referenced in relation to Dixie because Kitty was there for Dixie's biggest adventure. So, you know, it's fine. You know, it's not blemishing Dixie Kong by bringing up Kitty. The fact is Dixie overcame her obstacles despite Kitty. And yeah, that's selling Kitty short. Kitty was a fine character. I played as Kitty in Donkey Kong Country 3. It was a good time. He's not supposed to be awesome. He's just supposed to be an annoying baby who cries and shits his pants. So just it's fine. It's my catchphrase, Mitchell. It's fine. It's fine.
It's fine. It's fine. It's okay.
All right.
Don't be hilarious, Smash. It's fine.
So let us take this third call, for which we may better understand people's further objections to Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. I assume this is just going to be another Dixie call. I have a feeling this is the way the night's going.
Okay.
Here we are.
Hey guys, it's Sabretooth from the forums, and I kind of have a lot to say. I assume you guys are probably going to talk about, you know, DK, Diddy, and K. Rool, and the game itself, without my input, any of that. So I would like to talk about Dixie. Now I'm thinking you guys will probably talk about her, but I just want to make sure that I present all of the thoughts I have about her. There's a lot I have to say about her. She wasn't in the game. She could have been in the game. She ended up getting a me hat, just a hat. And I think a lot of it stems from just how Sakurai sees the DK series. And I also think there's this whole societal issue about female characters in gaming. They kind of have to be sexy or else they won't really get anywhere. But that's a whole thing. That'll take forever. So I want to know what you guys think about her absence, and also how you would prefer she be implemented. Obviously, we'd all prefer she be unique, but there's a lot of folks out there who absolutely do not want her to be an Echo Fighter. I mean, she has a lot of potential on her own. She could have a moveset based on her hair, or the animal buddies, or even a tag team duo thing with Kitty Kong. But, I mean, at the end of the day, we had to twist Sakurai's nipples to get K. Rool in the game for 10 years. I don't think we're ever going to see another unique DK character. So, knowing that, I would be fine with an Echo as long as they changed her up special, since she's never used a jetpack. It really bothers me that she's not in the game at this point. I really feel like she's the only Nintendo character left who is just entitled to a spot. You can maybe argue for Waluigi or Isaac, but I don't think they're even close. I mean, it's obvious. I don't really see how Nintendo looked at that roster and said, yep, that's complete without Dixie being there. Makes no sense. I'm worried they don't really understand why she's an important character. Anyway, yeah, I've actually been running a Twitter account advocating for her. And I think I've been doing pretty well. I've got over 100 followers. It's growing, so yeah. Go ahead and @ me, Dixie for Smash. So maybe I'll make a difference. Anyway, I hope you guys are enjoying the game. I know I am. Just got all the characters. K. Rool is an absolute monster. Yeah.
Well, thank you for the call, Sabretooth. And I was right. Was I right or was I right?
You were very right. You are the one that collected these calls, so it's possible that you knew ahead of time, but I'll give you the benefit of the doubt.
I very rarely listen to them ahead of time, so that was... And you know what? I will do you better than adding you. I am following you on Twitter, Dixie for Smash. So there you go. All right, so, there is a me hat.
Yeah.
Yeah. There is a me hat, which, in the grand tradition of me costumery, that clearly means Dixie will be playable in the next game, and it clearly meant that somebody felt bad that Dixie was excluded, in my opinion. Right?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so a few things. I feel like people get so mad about the Mii Fighter costumes, and I don't really get it. I mean, like, if you didn't have that, they just wouldn't be in the game. Is that better to you? Like, is that preferable? To me, it's not. I would prefer, if I'm not getting Dixie as a playable character, having a little something as an extra bonus is better. Like, I feel like some people take it as this cosmic insult. And I don't want to poo-poo the feeling. I don't want to poo-poo how you're feeling, Sabretooth. You're totally entitled to like feel a sting when you see that, because I felt a similar sting when we saw, K. Rool as a Mii costume in Smash 4. I get it for sure, but I still, like, in my head, maybe not in the deep recesses of my heart, in my head, I do know that is better. That is better than not getting anything. And it
at least shows there's something there for the character that somebody somewhere on the team is saying, yeah, we know. Like, we know. We know. Sorry. Sorry it didn't happen, but we're aware this character is important. We can at least acknowledge them in this small way. And it shows that, K. Rool's Mii costume was a complete concession when they saw him essentially walking away with the ballad, walking smugly like a pimp, like he does. They're like, oh shit, we didn't see this coming. We thought it was going to be Bayonetta. We thought it was going to be Cloud. Fuck. Well, okay. We can't put him in the game. This is already all set, but we can, do this costume, right?
Yeah.
So,
Dixie is my favorite. I want to be clear. I'm not trying to say that, like, Dixie isn't a worthy character to want in.
Absolutely
Dixie
not,
is my personal favorite Donkey Kong character above K. Rool and Diddy for me. I really, really like Dixie Kong.
She's honestly, like, I say Diddy's my favorite character, video game character, but it kind of alternates a little bit with Dixie. I associate more with Diddy because I grew up next to Diddy, but Dixie is just like right up there. Dixie is like, it's almost like a pair of favorite characters.
Yeah. And so Sabretooth went on to talk about, so 2 points that I'm not entirely sure I can agree with, about how, it might have something to do with female characters just not having a spot on the roster unless they are, like, sexy. And
what about Isabelle?
Yeah, I was about to say Isabelle, right? Like, we just got one, and like the default Inkling is female as well. I guess that doesn't exactly count because that's it has two forms, but the default one is female, and that's the one that shows up on the character select screen and everything. And
but all that sex appeal coming from her, I mean, you can feel it.
Well, tentacles. But Hyle, get this. I was on a Discord server that was like a really big populated one with a general public vibe to it.
The DK Vine inner circle. I know
No,
all about it.
Think of that, but like maybe 30 times larger in terms of how many people are in it.
Oh, that's ridiculous. Those don't exist.
It's true. And so this topic came up, like female representation of characters that aren't necessarily built to be sexy, and someone brought up Isabel, and another person responded to that saying, dude, come on, they totally designed Isabel to be like that kind of fetish appeal. And at that point I realized there is no such thing as a female character you can develop for a video game that won't be taken in a sexual way. It is impossible.
Look,
they just will. Okay. People will go for it.
Or male character. Look, sexuality is a spectrum, and what we find sexy is also in a spectrum. You can masturbate to anything, absolutely anything, and that's your prerogative so long as you're not hurting anybody. Especially if it's a fictional character, have at it. Have at it. Go to town on yourself.
Before we get too deep down that rabbit hole, I want to cut us off right there. The other point that Sabretooth brought up was that, like, not Isabel, Dixie is the last remaining character. It's like the one character that Nintendo can't really ignore and say that the roster looks complete. I don't know, man. I feel like you might be too close to the fire on that one. I agree that Dixie is very, very important, and I like her a lot, and she needs to be in the game at some point. But, like, remember how earlier in the show I was saying I came up with, like, 7 characters that could still, like, first-party characters that are important enough to still be in the game. When I was talking with Jeff, Dixie's one of them. Some of the others, like, just to list them off, Captain Toad, Isaac, Waluigi, a Rhythm Heaven representative, an Arms representative, and I think I had Impa from Belcha. Zelda.
Belcha.
I'm sorry?
Belcha from off of Donkey Kong Country 3. People in the live stream chat are going crazy bringing up Belcha. Jeff Onan says he wants to fuck Belcha. So, Belcha.
So that's 8 now with Belcha. I honestly don't necessarily think that Dixie is, like, that much ahead of something like Isaac or Waluigi in terms of importance and just, like, getting an entire franchise that hasn't been represented yet for Isaac, or just sheer popularity with Waluigi, or a very similar situation to Dixie Kong with Captain Toad, where their main appearance is as a supporting character in a bunch of other Mario games, but they did have one game where they were the lead character. So almost an identical situation with that, and I would say Captain Toad is probably just, like, more well known. I don't want to say, like, you're wrong for thinking this is the very next character. I think she is among the next characters. I just wouldn't. I don't know if I would agree that, like, this is the one character holding us back from a complete roster. Yeah, we're either there with a complete roster, or we'll never be there.
We're never going to be there because, 1, there will always be new Nintendo franchises, and 2, getting a character in there will always open up the idea and the tantalizing possibility of further characters. So it is like to use your term, a rabbit hole that we're going down, and I think Smash Ultimate represents the closest we have ever come to what can conceivably be called a complete roster, so you can get a little weird with it, like Piranha Plant, and not really piss anybody off. Dixie, we, of course, associate Dixie as a heavy hitter, as a main character, because that is what she is to the Donkey Kong series. But when you peel back the layers of the onion, I don't know if I would agree that she is the biggest Nintendo character who is still not in the game. She's up there, absolutely, but a case could be made for many other characters, especially if you're closer to one of those series.
Yeah, and I think it's just a good incentive for us to campaign for a new Donkey Kong game in general, and that should have a lot of Dixie support in it to make her stock go up. That would be a good use of our time, I think. Dixie's definitely among the next rung of characters to put in the game, but at the same time, I think Ultimate has pushed the Donkey Kong universe from criminally underrepresented to just regularly underrepresented.
I thought you were going to do a Jesse Pinkman thing there. Is it criminally underrepresented to criminally underrepresented? Because K. Rool is a bad guy.
Kremlinly.
Criminally underrepresented.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know. Like we've said before, and I feel like we're going in circles at this point.
Yeah.
K. Rool needed this because K. Rool needed the Kingmaker to make him vital again and to make him on the table again and to make Nintendo realize, oh, we've got to use this character. Doesn't matter if anybody in our development teams has this weird vendetta against him or the Kremlins or things that Rare did. The fans love him. Shit, okay, and now Smash has spoken. K. Rool needed that. Dixie absolutely doesn't need it. Dixie's going to keep being in Donkey Kong games, and eventually that was going to boost her into Smash.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so. I mean, like if you go back to before Melee came out, did we really have like this huge expectation that one day K. Rool was going to be in the game? I mean, like maybe people in our circle, yes, but in the general public, if we didn't get Diddy, we probably wouldn't have gotten anything. For like right. Diddy would be the next one. So, but we have arrived at the point where K. Rool's now in the game, and it's admittedly, yeah, it's been 17 years since Melee, so I mean, you can't just wait it out. Like, you may die first, but
you will die first, yeah.
Like, take solace in the fact that we are excavating around the things the stuff that you want is either in the game already or it's close. Like it's got to be close. We're really just going down the lists and finding the next sensical inclusion. And after K. Rool got in the game, and after Rare is a bit more represented in the game with things like Crystal as an assist trophy, and in the code of the game, Jet Force Gemini and Blast Core are just like...
We haven't discussed that. We haven't discussed that at all in the conversation. So can we talk about that?
I feel like that has to be in the part 2.
Part 2, okay. All right.
Because I mean that's a big deal. But like, yeah, we're getting there. Don't worry about Dixie. I've never... Like with K. Rool, I think there was a strong reason to suspect that it would just never happen. There was a good, like, you would be smart to be pessimistic, and it happened. And with Dixie, I feel optimistic. Like, no way will Dixie just never make it. Of course she's gonna make it. It's just, it wasn't now. And it wasn't now because K. Rool took precedent in a few ways. And I think you got to respect that. I think you got to respect like how important that was, even for someone like you or me who prefer Dixie to K. Rool as a character.
Okay, so I would argue, and then we're going to take the next call because again we're just going to be going in circles.
Just circling, man.
Just circling the Smash Ball, the fiery Smash Ball on my steel case, all black. Deluxe edition of Smash. I would argue that K. Rool getting in this means so much for the Donkey Kong series health. And if the Donkey Kong series is healthy, that's going to automatically be good for Dixie going forward, which will automatically boost her chances next time around. Dixie getting in the game would have been good for Dixie and really nothing else.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
So this way of going about it might displease the Dixie diehards, but ultimately it will benefit everyone, every Donkey Kong fan in the long run, a lot more. So looking at it from that academic viewpoint, I'm very pleased with the way things happen this time around. Does Dixie deserve to be in Smash? Yes. I would argue that's not Ultimate's fault. That's the sins of prior Smashes still bearing fruit. We needed Diddy in Melee. It's ridiculous that it took until Brawl for him to arrive. And from there, it just kept escalating. So, yeah. Oh well. K. Rool is just amazing, and nothing's going to dissuade me from that viewpoint. So, all right. Let's take our last call of the episode.
12th time caller here. What a world we live in where K. Rool is in Smash Brothers. And I just want to say justice for singular Toad. Toad from Mario Kart, Red Toad, is married to his Double Dash partner Toadette. And he works for the princess. This is just how it works in my mind. It can't be any other way. And Tony and I have still yet to meet up, but we agreed, and we agreed to beep on Haunted Mansion because it's dark, and we both consented because it's not going to be sexual. Now for my Dixie tangent. Dixie Kong should definitely be in this game. I know the world is different now, and we have K. Rool brought forth unto a new generation, but come on. Dixie is playable in 2 out of 3 of the original DKC trilogy. She's playable in half the sequel trilogy. That's only 2 games so far. Some fans think it would be great to have a tag team of Dixie and Kiddy Kong a la Ice Climbers, which would be almost too incredible to happen. And all, it's totally weird that Dixie isn't in Smash still. We know she almost made it into Brawl, so we know Sakurai has tried. I really thought that every character would get its own Echo Fighter, which would have been perfect for Dixie. Just add her hair helicopter, and then we're good here. Oh, well, there's always something to complain about. That rumor of Minecraft in the game is very interesting because that would almost certainly mean Banjo-Kazooie would also be in the game. And if we get Banjo-Kazooie, then we obviously get Tip-Top. I mean, Tip-Top has been in more games than some of these other characters in Smash. He's in 3 games, not counting remakes and reference in Grunty's Revenge and Banjo Pilot. So that's my tangent. I'm happy, couldn't be happier. Dixie not being in Smash is sexist, and Tip-Top not being in Smash is ageist.
All right.
All right, 12th time caller.
Guys, I can't. When it was just like 1 or 2 of you callers, I was going to be like really magnanimous about, we didn't get Dixie this time, but we got a lot of stuff. You got to calm down. Now, guys, you gotta calm down. You can't do this to yourself. You can't be in a position where not getting Dixie in this game, it's only been like 4 months since K. Rool was announced. You can't revert that fast to thinking that you have nothing. Dude, yeah. We can't do this. You can't do that to yourself.
This is exactly what I went through with Brawl. I got Diddy, this is everything I ever wanted. And then a couple months passed, and I said, where the fuck is K. Rool? That's no way to live. That's just no way to live. Don't be like I was. That was a path of unhappiness. It took a long time to find the off-ramp from there. And believe me, I'm never going down that route again. My GPS, I don't know where I'm going with this analogy, Mitchell, and I don't care. All I want to say is that I did not know all 4 calls were going to be based around Dixie Kong. I thought it was going to be, Smash Ultimate, great game, great Smash Brothers, I'm having a good time. I was in a bubble of ignorance here. I thought
I guess.
Everybody was enjoying this, and no, and apparently this game is trash because there's no Dixie.
Yeah, I mean, guys, like, the reason we were annoyed with the Fire Emblem thing is not because, like, Fire Emblem is bad and didn't deserve it. It's because Fire Emblem got, like, way too many turns. It got way too many turns in a single Smash game last generation, where it was 2 DLC choices and 2 newcomer base choices in addition to 2 returning choices for a total of 6 characters after the previous game only had 2. And because of that, it seemed like this overinflation of importance. And really, Fire Emblem is important. Fire Emblem does deserve characters, especially if it's like a character-driven series like that every game has new characters. For sure. That's not the Fire Emblem series' fault. If we're just gonna say after K. Rool, hey, we also need a new character for ourselves in the base game from the same exact series now, I don't respect you. I can't jive with it. I can't.
Whoa.
It's too much. It's too much to ask for. It's too much to ask for. I'm sorry, 12th time caller. I'm sorry, Sabretooth. I'm sorry, Smash. I like all you guys as people. Wanting Dixie isn't a bad thing. But the fact that this is just apparently the thing is ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
Okay, to be fair, it might be the thing on the Kongversation.
Sure.
Because we solicited calls.
Yeah, we're self-selecting a little bit.
We are, yeah. As far as Tip Top goes, he should definitely be a spirit if we get Banjo-Kazooie DLC and all of the goodies that might come with that. I say bring forth the Tip Top spirits. Hell, bring forth the Diddy Kong Racing spirits.
Yeah.
But that is a discussion to be had. But we promised we would discuss the Joker before we wrap this up. So on the night of the Game Awards, which I did not watch, actually I was streaming Sea of Thieves, and as a result, nobody was watching us because they were all waiting for a Smash reveal for the Game Awards. But they revealed the Joker from not the Batman Arkham games like I initially thought when I saw the Joker was trending on Twitter the next morning, but from Persona 4, I believe.
5.
Okay, whatever.
Persona 5.
Like I care. The Joker. Who is the Joker, Mitchell?
The Persona games. Okay, this is a roundabout way of getting there, but you gotta stay in the car at all times and don't put your hands or feet outside the vehicle. The Persona games are a spin-off of a series called Shin Megami Tensei, or just Megami Tensei. It is a very long-running, since the Famicom, JRPG series by Atlus, who is now owned by Sega, but that's not really important. And the deal with Megami Tensei is it was a little bit like Pokemon before Pokemon, where there were all these demons to collect and battle and recruit to your side. And Persona,
because of evangelical groups didn't freak out enough about Pokemon.
Yeah. I mean, this didn't come to the West because we just couldn't pronounce it, so we weren't allowed to have it. Always.
I thought you were gonna say because we couldn't handle our demons over here, which is true.
Sure, also true.
People would freak out.
Persona is a spin-off of that, where it takes place in a more high school setting, where instead of recruiting all these demons Pokemon style, you can call upon your inner persona, where it's the same demons, it's the same ones as the Shin Megami Tensei series. They come out and you battle with them as almost like a spirit animal kind of thing. That they come out of you. So that's the gist of what the series is. Joker is the main protagonist of Persona 5, and his deal is that he can call on a bunch of different personas, where most characters can just call on one only. So this is kind of cool and kind of off topic. If you're like me and you really value a connection to Nintendo in a Smash character, and you're kind of annoyed at things like Cloud in the last game, where clearly he's more associated with PlayStation, that's a weird pick. Persona or Joker from Persona 5 is a bit of a split issue. Persona 5 is so far a PlayStation exclusive game. It came out last year in the West. It's very new. It very well could come to Switch. This might be a foretelling of Persona 5 coming to Switch. We don't know. If you're like just thinking about Joker himself and just Persona 5 itself, yeah, this is a PlayStation character. Doesn't super make sense. But if you're thinking about how Joker as a character works, he's like a summoner, right? Which is a character class, just like Incineroar represented the grappler, how Smash has never really had a grappler before. Joker represents the summoner kind of character that we've never had before. And the things that he's summoning are demons from the Persona and Shin Megami Tensei series that date back all the way to the Famicom era of Nintendo, and Shin Megami Tensei has always been like very associated with Nintendo. So in a way, it's very Nintendo, and in a way, it's super not Nintendo, all at the same time. So that's a primer on Joker.
Can I say something that actually kind of surprises me? And
sure.
By the way, I completely started zoning out about halfway through
That's
that
fine. I
explanation.
expected it, you know. We hung out at E3 where you asked me a question. You asked me a question, and in the middle of explaining the answer to it, you actually fell asleep. So I understand.
When was that?
That was, well, it was like one of the nights. You asked me something probably about Smash.
Oh, that's right. No, I remember that. Yeah. I don't remember what it was about because I fell asleep.
It was only like 2 sentences too. I was really,
I'm pretty sure
I was
it was
really
about
disappointed.
Pokemon. I'm pretty sure it was about Pokemon.
Dude, yeah, it was. You totally nerd checked me. You're like, oh, so what's up with like an ice type Pokemon? I was like, oh, well, it's an ice type Pokemon, and you're fucking asleep already.
Yeah, no. You didn't say anything that like piqued my interest there, but about the Joker or Persona or whatever. But playing Smash Ultimate, I am actually surprised. So this has been a big sticking point with me throughout the evolution of Smash. No, it needs to stay Nintendo exclusive or have some sort of deep, intimate ties to Nintendo history. And Snake and Brawl, what the fuck are they doing? Like, I initially was opposed to Sonic in Smash. Like, no. Cloud as Smash 4 DLC, no. Playing Smash Ultimate, though, I'm kind of past that. And I'm kind of viewing Smash now as just this ultimate, no pun intended, video game all-star mashup crossover celebration. It's evolved beyond Nintendo. Is that the way I would have gone once upon a time? No, but we're here. It's long past that point, and the only question is, am I okay with it? And now, ultimately, yeah, I think I'm okay with it. And honestly, it's as petty and childish as any reason, but it's because I've got K. Rool, and I like that K. Rool is now associated with all of these characters that are even beyond Nintendo. That's it. I'm done. Yeah.
That's I don't think I'm there yet. I think I still resent a little bit that Cloud choice, but at least we're now getting Final Fantasy VII on the Switch, and there's the possibility of getting Persona 5 on the Switch. And these things kind of make me feel like we're being done right by these choices. If I didn't have the Shin Megami Tensei angle of Persona, where it's actually been various like associated with Nintendo for a very long time, it's just not this specific game Joker's from, I think I would like it a lot less. As of now, I'm okay with this. This is not... To me, this is actually more okay than, like, Cloud, if not just because I know that some of the personas and demons that... those words are used interchangeably. Some of the personas that Joker is going to summon are going to be very long-running characters on Nintendo consoles. I'm more okay with it. There's like a rumor going around that Dante from Devil May Cry is going to be a DLC character, and Hyle, that one would really break the bank for me. That one I'm very not okay with. I just don't want it. I don't want it at all. It would really just like be a final nail in the coffin of this character is associated with other systems entirely. It's never like this Devil May Cry series has never been on Nintendo. It's like, I don't know. I really wouldn't like it.
Yeah, I'm past it.
Cool.
So long as we get Banjo-Kazooie, of course. I don't know. It's funny just how having K. Rool in the game and having a more well-rounded representation of Donkey Kong can go a long way towards just getting me on board with this stuff that I would have been opposed to, you know, just a couple of short months ago. It's cool now because now K. Rool is among this relatively small collective of characters that go well beyond even the Nintendo realm. It's just video game all-stars, and K. Rool is among them. This very, very short list when you factor in the entirety of video games. And oh my god, there's K. Rool right there next to Cloud from Final Fantasy. And, you know, I don't know. It changes one's perspective. So, yeah. I'm surprised. I'm surprised by my own hypocrisy. But I shouldn't be, considering how often I am a hypocrite.
So we're at over 3 hours. So do you want to talk more about what Joker means for DLC and what we kind of expect out of DLC in the part 2 of this, or do you want to?
Yeah, no. Let's put some paper in your ass sweat and say we're going to plug that up for now.
Cool.
And we're going to pull it out on the next episode and have the anus water just pour like a waterfall when we discuss what we have surmised from people getting into the data of the game and what that means for DLC, what that means for DKU properties, and of course, all the discussion we can muster about World of Light. That'll be next time on The Kongversation. Until then, I don't know, enjoy your Christmas or whatever happens between now and then.
Night, everybody! Night. Good night.
This has been a File 2 production.
Que rico.